baby.
Hello, I'm Sonny Landon.
10 o'clock at night. I'm pissed off. I'm sure Matt's pissed off. That's just Matt. And Mark is going to be the calm one in this. So, let's see what we can do tonight. Take some questions. Howdy, folks. I'm your good pal, Uncle Bill, over here. And I hope that my internet will last longer than 5 minutes like it did last night.
Yeah, hopefully.
So that was a fun time. You sit there for like an hour getting everything set up and shit, and then like 30 minutes for the pre-show, and literally 2 minutes after the fucking sale goes live, my whole internet goes. I was just like, yeah, that's right. That sounds about right.
I think your internet looked at what they released and said, no, thanks. You just don't have to leave.
Yeah,
I can't be working for this.
I'll be honest with you. In a way, I was kind of glad that I didn't have to spend an hour talking about them shitty titles because that was rough, man. But yeah, this is just going to be like a hangout kind of thing, answering questions.
We'll get some VHS tapes. We're going to do some measuring.
I'm still amazed at this, man. Like at that whole story.
Yeah, well, I guess for those who didn't hear it, Mark heard it. The other night I did my birthday stream. One of my dear friends, Mike, OCB Communications, was on that stream. And he told the story of the Mark. By the way, Matt. He told the story of the Mark. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
There was a VHS group. He joined the VHS group because of documentaries like Rewind This and all those documentaries. There was a time where they came up with all these VHS documentaries. He collected VHS tapes. Pretty soon after joining this Facebook group, those guys apparently, since CT says PC, they love their purple people eaters on VHS tapes to measure their Peter Purple on VHS tapes. They would show pictures of their purple people eaters on their VHS tapes, like a literal Peter measuring contest. And yeah, apparently VHS collectors do that, or at least some do.
I don't think is that a widespread thing amongst like VHS collectors?
I guess that's why I don't collect VHS.
The secret initiation.
Yeah.
And then I know Mark especially liked the bit where, in order to rile my friend, I don't know how this is a dig on someone, but the guy took a picture of himself eating pancakes shaped in the span of purple people eater, pickle pecker peckers. And I don't know how that's a dig on. That's more owning yourself, but there's a lot of good collectors, but there's a lot of weirdos out there. So be aware. It's just weirdos.
I feel like if you probably lost the ability to insult people at some level if you're that like into VHS tapes. You're probably not very, creative. Like, I just something's missing there. Yeah, I don't know.
That'll be Garrett's next stream.
Listen, Garrett's going to be streaming about the Care Bears for about the next month or so. He's not going to be doing anything, even remotely, like any kind of controversial topics. Garrett will not be doing. But guys, let's talk about real quick though the vinegar syndrome, because I didn't get to talk about it. Literally, did not get to say a word about it, except like it popped up and I knew it was shitty, and then it went off, or I went off. Overall, like I'm looking at some of their releases here. I pulled some of the stuff up just so like I could, because I couldn't believe some of the stuff I was looking at last night. But you've got Undefeatable, which is I didn't recognize it at first, but that's supposed to be one of like the best, worst like kung fu martial arts movies out there, just because of like a lot of the fight scenes in it are just ridiculous. And especially the final one too. I might actually get that just because it's so awful that it's great. But then you
Mhm.
get to like once you go beyond that, you've got a Blade in the Dark, which sucks. Like some people like that movie, and you can if you want, but that movie is boring as all hell. It's an Italian like slasher, giallo-ish kind of movie, and it's just not great. You got Night Screams, which I've never heard of, and I would guarantee about 90% of people never heard of, except Mark. He's heard of it. Guarantee it. You've got you've got The Villages of the Damned, Three Horrors from Spain, which that's not PC. But that's I think they're talking about movies, three horror movies from Spain. And then you've got the Boogeyman, not the WWE character that was amazing. This is the awful
The Uli Lamel.
Lamel
No,
Boogeyman.
Yeah.
Ninja in the Claws of the CIA. That's the name of that one.
That one sounds good though.
Yeah, it kind of does. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this other one. Other than to say Apocalypse Tetralogy. Okay, and then you got Boggy Creek 2, The Legend Continues, which that
You gotta have that. I mean,
I didn't know that existed, to be honest.
that's the sequel to Own right there.
Yeah. So that's what they released. And then there was like a Polish variant cover for Hell Comes to Frogtown that you had to buy the fucking Blu-ray for again if you wanted to get that. Which I hate that about Vinegar Syndrome. Like if there's one thing I hate about them, it's they will not sell just like the fucking slip covers. You have to buy the Blu-ray with it to get, and so it ends up being like if you want it, it's gonna be like $25 to $30 just for a variant slipcover.
I don't know why you would want that. That slipcover looked like someone puked Dayglow.
It was.
I don't know why you would even want it.
Man, the original slipcover they had for that, the one that opened up at the top, was badass. I'm positive Mark
better.
has that too.
I actually don't. So.
Oh no! Oh shit!
Yeah.
But all right. So based on what I said, like, what did you guys like? What did you think? Did you buy anything? What do you think about those titles?
I bought Miami Connection. I didn't have that. I watched that movie like 3 times online this year already, so I can't wait to watch the 4K on my TV. Yeah, I got that. I have a bunch of stuff in my cart, but I didn't buy any of it yet. So I'm contemplating on a few other movies.
Yeah, I had like I had 3 or 4 that I was thinking about, and then I'm like, but there's still, man. Okay, so it's a half off sale, right? And there's still the ones that I was thinking about getting are still like $22 to $30. I'm like, what the fuck kind of sale is that, really?
Yeah, I never, when they say sale, it's like, it's not a sale. Like, yeah, exactly, Matt. Thank you. I mean, some of them are decently priced, at least in terms of like the 4K stuff. Some of them are marked down to like 24 from 34. It's like a good $10 off, considering most common 4Ks are like $30 or $35. It's not too bad, especially for them. But the other stuff, like, it's still like you said, $22. Even if it's $19.99, do you really want to pay the extra like $5 or $6 to $10 for the slipcase? You could just get it when it's sold out. Get the standard for $12.
No, people don't want to do that anymore, Mark. That's not how things go nowadays.
Apparently
you're not buying
the cardboard enthusiasts.
Yeah, you're buying the slipcover now.
Yeah,
Shit,
I guess.
I saw something the other day, man. I'm not going to name names, but people will post stuff on their social media, and it'll be like they got so many packages it looks like it's Christmas for like an orphanage or something. I'm like, what the fuck? Why? Like, and there's no way they can watch any of that. Like, they could sit there from now until the end of time and they're not going to watch like the amount of stuff that they're buying. So what are they doing? They're just like they're just sitting there. Here's what they're doing. They're sitting there. Oh God, look at this. Look at it. Now I'm gonna put it back in this case. I'm gonna bring it out again in about 2 years. Look here, I got this. I'm gonna put it
Mhm.
back.
They're gonna fill some more empty space on their shelf and then go back to buying more stuff.
Have
I
to buy
talked
those-
about this before on Marcus. This conversation came up the other night about how for a lot of people it's an addiction.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
for me, I've waned off that addiction a long time ago, and I once in a blue moon get something, but it can be a real addiction of that. I get it. I was part of that and I enjoyed it. You'd buy something for the collection, or you know what? I want to it to be fun, but then it's like, you know what? I'd rather just save that money for food. You know, I'd rather just, buy a new something else. I don't
Yeah.
need every Steven Seagal film because that's a
No.
travesty.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I don't-
Seagal. You need
I don't-
those.
Yeah,
I
I
not,
don't.
on- not only that, but like if you were doing what these people did, then you'd be buying like every Steven Seagal film multiple times because one of them would be like a steel book, one of them would be a slipcase, a slip cover, like the
Yeah.
standard edition. I think
Yeah,
I think it seriously is like a mental kind of illness, like for some
Mm.
people. Like I don't
It's
think
a sickness.
yeah, that's a cinema sickness.
That's right.
What it is.
it's an addiction, and any addiction can be waned. I mean, it may be tough, and it could always happen, but there are people that have to be careful. I mean, if they enjoy it, teach their own. As I think there are some people that probably overbook, so to speak, their finances, and they're probably like, "Oh shit,
Yeah.
my house is gone, but I could live. I guess I could take all my DVDs and build a cave."
Yeah.
They live in,
Didn't
like, a
Garrett say that
DVD
once
igloo.
before?
yeah.
I remember Garrett saying that, like, not about him specifically, but like somebody messaged him, or maybe a few people, they said like they can't keep up.
No,
I'm like, what does that even mean? Keep up? Like, should you just be buying what you like?
yeah,
But
don't-
it's become more of like a not so much you're buying like movies you actually like to watch, but you're trying to like keep up with what everybody else is buying all the time. Like and for that's just crazy to me for films and shit. Like
Yeah.
because a lot of times
for some people,
Oh,
for some
go ahead,
people,
man.
it's to fill up a hole as well. For some
Oh,
people,
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
this is
yeah.
not everybody, but for some, it's fill up some hole that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean the type of hole on the VHS Facebook. they have their own issues, but it's not everybody. But it's to fill up some kind of hole or some kind of. They work their job. They enjoy showing something, and if people enjoy it, that's fine. But you just have to be careful of every other kind of thing you collect or a hobby. Mark, you said it best. There's to be a slim line between a collector and a hoarder.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll give you a perfect example of this kind of stuff. And Don May Jr. even said this, like he kind of confirmed this in the interview that we did with him. These companies are releasing 4Ks just for the markup value of releasing 4Ks. Like a lot of these movies, they know damn good and well they're not going to benefit that much from 4K, but they just want to like be able to charge more for them. And people are going nuts. They're like, oh shit. Like,
Screen Factory.
Yeah, well, Screen Factory is the big one, and so is Vinegar Syndrome. Like this shit, Vinegar Syndrome's releasing, man. Like the Boogeyman, when that filmed on 16 millimeter,
I think
I don't even think that that's not gonna
Flesh
do
Eater
anything
4K.
in 4K. Yeah,
Flesh
another
Eater,
one
right.
that was filmed on video. I'm pretty sure. So fuck, you can imagine that. It's just. It's gotten so crazy now, man. Like there's just so many weird subgenres of collectors now that are just like I don't even know what's going on anymore. But if
I get why the companies are doing it, because they found a gold mine. Because there are people that will pay anything.
Oh yeah.
That Ninja Star you guys mentioned, or like you weren't there because the internet looked at the sale and said, "Nah, you can't have internet anymore tonight. I'm not looking at this."
Yeah.
But I bet people bought that Ninja Star for $50. It's like what?
I bet they
looks like
sold
one
out of
those,
that. Yeah,
Cowboy 10 stars yeah, for little kids.
I guarantee they did.
Yeah.
This is great. Getting people hooked like fentanyl. Yeah.
Like Hoopla and phonics, and it's not just for kids.
Oh man.
If I get anything from that, maybe sidekicks, maybe.
Yeah, that's the one I was
And
thinking about.
maybe yeah. And maybe Dog Tags. That's a pretty good Vietnam exploitation film. It's like a dark, gritty Vietnam movie. Maybe Dog Tags.
Yeah, and I mean, some of these titles, I have mixed feelings about Vinegar Syndrome because, like, they're doing one of two things, and I kind of don't know where to stand with it. So, I liked Vinegar Syndrome back when they were releasing shit that like nobody had ever heard of, really, and it was relatively cheap, and that seemed to be their niche market, was like making super cool packaging and shit for movies that nobody had heard of. Well, now what they're doing is they're getting some mainstream titles and releasing them for like insane amounts of money just because of the packaging, and mixing that in with like what they were doing before. But it seems like the further they go along, they're making the same mistake that Anchor Bay made like years and years and years ago to me, which is like now they're starting to get these mainstream titles, which are going to cost more to get. The rights and stuff like that are going to cost more. They're probably not going to sell as well as even some of like the shitty, like little slasher films that, they got.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't like exactly what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
Once in a while, for me, it's a diamond in the rough, but that's like 9 out of 10 times it's crap. That's the thing.
Well, yeah.
The one thing to be like, wow, cool. I got Rad on 4K right there. Or I got what CT mentioned, Solid Madness. I like that movie. But then it's like, I'm not getting Showgirls in 4K. I wouldn't get them on VHS or Laserdisc or whatever. I'm not getting Flesh Eater. I'm not getting Curse of the Blue Lights. The only reason I know about that film is because someone who was in it got mad at my friend who said the movie sucks like 5 years ago.
Yeah, I would.
And there's a 90-minute documentary that someone uploaded on YouTube for those who want to watch. I'm not getting that, but hey,
I gotta say,
4K increase.
Like, I feel like I shouldn't be somebody talking about collecting shit, but man, there is a line somewhere where it's like, I've always tried to collect shit that I either liked before or thought that I might like in the future. And I have never fucking bought, unless it's a movie that I love, multiple editions of a movie. Like, there are people out there that are just whatever is coming out, they're buying. Like, if it's 15 different versions of like the Care Bears movie, they're going to buy it. Like, if it's 15 different versions of some new movie that's not even like fucking the Pope, the Exorcist or whatever, the Pope's Exorcist, they're going to buy every edition of that movie. And it's like, why? Like, is there going to come a point where you're going to need 4 different versions of the Pope's Exorcist?
Yeah, I think I brought this up on the stream before, like the guy on YouTube with all the Saw releases from every country. I think he had the same thing for Evil Dead. I'm guilty of having multiple editions, but not every fucking country. Like, that's just beyond insane.
But there's stuff you like.
Yeah,
like, I doubt you have multiple bits of, I don't know, Chill the Corn 4.
No, I don't have that at all. So,
but I do think, how do we know this? People post it, YouTube, Facebook. It's the show.
Well, it's a whole community now.
Yeah, something to show.
Yeah,
you said a whole community.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole community of people whose only thing now is just like buying as much shit as humanly possible, and like one person's basically they're trying to outbuy each other. It's like a giant auction house. Yeah. But the problem is these people aren't rich. they're going to like they're clearly going to suffer like ramifications from this, but it is an illness in a way. Anyway, that's enough of that because we know that people can be people can be insane. So this is a be a good
Especially
segue.
VHS tape.
I did actually like some of the titles that Arrow just announced, but I cannot figure out for the life of me why the hell that Arrow's doing the same thing Scream Factory's doing now. So they released the 4K of Weird Science that is basically like the same port and everything from the Blu-ray that they released not too long ago, and the Steelbook that they released. And they're doing this shit almost every month now, like something like this. And I can't stand that either, man.
They just announced Porky's 4K. I saw that the other day.
I mean, does anybody else have a problem with that? Like just being lazy and taking a Blu-ray, just pouring it right onto a 4K and like that's I don't know.
I don't know why they started to follow the trend. I mean, I would assume a company like that is making more than enough doing the good stuff that they were doing. I mean, I'll probably always like Arrow because they do have enough of like solid releases, and it's not like Vinegar Syndrome where they're just releasing anything just to release something.
That's very true. Because I was thinking like some of the other releases that they had on this last batch, like the Last House on the Left remake and things like that were those were fairly decent, and that hasn't ever had like a decent release or anything like that either. So there's always some good stuff with Arrow too.
It would be very curious. There's no way to find out. It'd be curious to see a list of their sales, like what has sold more. Has the 4K sold more? Has which titles? If it's newer film, if it's recognizable films that got to 4K, if those are getting the more sales, then maybe they're like, let's just keep replicating that for revenue. Is that the case that maybe it won't take much effort, maybe it takes less time, but then if we get as much or more sales, then we'll just piggyback on that. And don't worry, guys, we'll do something later for what you're more into.
I think so. Maybe, I don't know. I think maybe that's kind of like their, every now and then they do something just to try to make some money so they can finance like other shit that people will really like. I don't think Vinegar Syndrome does that much. I don't think Vinegar Syndrome gives a shit. Vinegar Syndrome might be the only company right now active that I know of that has a built-in fan base so committed and stupid. However you want to look at it, they're either committed or stupid, one of the two, or possibly both, that they could release anything and they're going to like a group of people's going to buy it. Literally any goddamn thing. Like Bat Pussy is a good example. Like just, I mean, that was a partner label, I think, but just anything. And somebody's going to be like, God, this is fucking amazing. It's like, is it?
They will.
Yeah.
No, I mentioned this to Matt the other day. Like I saw a guy unbox a bunch of Vinegar Syndrome stuff, and he went through like maybe 10 to 12 movies, and he didn't really like any of them. He's like, well, look at this, look at this case. Like he's like, this movie kind of sucks, but look at the slipcase. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like,
that's what they're doing. They don't give a shit if the movie sucks or
it's crazy.
All right. So I've completely like neglected the chat here while I've been doing this, but
for anybody sent in a super chat.
That was Bronson, I think. Hold on. For anybody that didn't know though, Matt turned 40, and congratulations, Matt. Welcome to elderliness.
Thank you. Oh yeah. It's all
middle-agedness. Yeah, it is. Bronson says, what are your thoughts on Saving Silverman? I always love that movie.
Saw in the theater, really enough, that was like a class trip to the theater. That was one of the movies to see.
That's an interesting one. Yeah.
It's
one of those Jack Black films I actually enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think me and Wes used to get a kick out of watching it. Like, I don't know.
And I kind of had a thing for Amanda Peet around that time.
Who didn't around that time, though? Jesus Christ. Remember when she did, what was it? She did that one, and then the 9 Yards one, the one with
Whole
Matthew-
9 yards.
The whole
Whole
9
9 yards.
yards.
Yeah.
right almost together. And oh my
Mhm.
God, dude, it's insane. Anyway, okay, the mayor's in here. Good to see you. L.A. Jewel, Phantasm Matt, just regular old Matt, Real Fright, Joe Jack, Dude Who Loves Movies, Crispy Pretzel Chicken Fries, Sean, Jostradamus, Fan of Eli, and
One quick thing.
Yeah.
Web Movie 1, if you're sitting here, I'm going to go steal your Ninja Turtles 2 poster. And then I'm going to rip the Vanilla Ice autograph and burn that because Vanilla Ice sucks. But I'll steal your poster. So I'll find it.
Radkins is in here now. Let's see. A couple people have had some fairly good questions on here.
And everybody's Matt's. Matt's. There's that guy named Matt. Phantasm Matt. I'm Matt.
Everybody's, yeah.
Jeez.
I don't know how to answer this question, Fan of Eli, but if I'm a fan of demons, is the movie A Blade in the Dark worth a blind buy? It's no. Like, if you're thinking it's going to be like Demons, because it's like 100% not like Demons at all.
Mhm.
It's a very slow burn. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd even recommend Blade in the Dark I mean, just regularly.
Well, I'm coming Web Movie 1. I'm coming. That Ninja Turtles 2 poster's coming home with me. Although I don't need no Vanilla Ice. I like that movie. I hate that guy. I hate that guy. So
Mats are rolling deep tonight. So, real quick though, let's talk about a company that releases like some of the most amazing shit I've seen in a while.
Mhm.
Did you guys happen to see the Second Sight releases that just got announced? No.
I did. It's so funny. I have quite a few of them in my cart.
I mean,
They have some good stuff. One of them, the genre fans probably would be happy for, is Frontiers is finally getting a really cool release. I know people really like that one. I always was a fan of it. I mean, out of all the like crap that came through the After Dark Horror Fest, that was one of the better ones to me.
Yeah, I forgot that was in that line, but you're right. Yeah.
Mhm.
The one that got my attention the most was May, because I had wondered like what the hell ever happened with that movie.
Mhm.
May was like the Angela Bettis movie that came out like early 2000s where she's like,
Lucky McKee.
yeah, Lucky McKee. They did a couple. Like, Roman was one of them, and that one was one of them, and
The Woods.
he did The Woods, didn't he? Yeah.
Woods, yeah.
And
I remember that, yeah.
but I'd always wondered, like, why did that movie? I don't even think it had like a Blu-ray. I'm not sure it did. Like, I think it had a DVD up until.
Yeah, I don't ever remember seeing one. And that was one of his more popular movies, so that is kind of bizarre.
Yeah, but this edition looks. I mean, it's crazy to me that they would do that for a movie that basically nobody knows about, except like really hardcore genre fans. But they did.
Mhm.
Yeah, they don't know about it. It sucks. It's there. I mean, I'm not big on it, but you're bigger fans than me.
I just like Angela Bettis. There was a period of time where like where she was doing a lot of stuff, and she was doing really well. And CK and I were talking about her recently, like what the hell ever happened to her? Like you never see her or hear about her anymore or anything like that.
She wasn't she Carrie in one of the versions?
Yeah.
She did TV. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Yeah, she was a good actress, but it's like, well, what happened to Lucky McKee? What happened to like Dante Tomaselli? Like these directors that I remember when Dead Pit started, these were like the up and coming directors. Rob Schmidt, who did Ron Turn, and then they just disappeared, got swallowed up by the system.
Yep.
They got overshadowed by Rob Zombie and Eli Roth. That's what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
That's pretty sad. Rob Zombie, especially, like the way he writes, that's pretty sad. It is.
You don't like my movies? Yeah.
We need CK come in here and do his impression.
All right. Here's some actual questions, though. Radkin says, I grabbed Boggy Creek 2. Has anybody actually seen this?
No.
I have not
Awful.
seen it. Have you seen it, Matt?
I vaguely remember. I think the director is the actor in it. I swear, isn't like there was like 2 Body Treat sequels. I don't know if I'm getting that confused with the other one. Charles B. Pierce, I think, acts as the star, and he's like one of the worst actors. I can't remember if it was that or the other Body Treat sequel. There was like 2 Body Treat sequels. It might have been that one. But if you like really bad Bigfoot movies where he looks like a dog or something,
I mean, not against it. Worst, I'm not sure exactly what this means, but worst movie that you've seen in school.
I don't know. Did they show movies in school or class trips for school?
I
Some people did.
actually know the answer to this.
They showed a lot of movies in school for me, but it's just the title of he's saying worst.
Yeah.
The majority of all of them I liked. The one that stands out for sure, I have no idea why you would show this. I still love the movie to this day. It's Larry Clark's Kids.
God, they showed that.
They did.
Jesus, dude.
We all were eating it up though. We loved it. I mean, like I said, I still like the movie. But I mean, I know all of his stuff is kind of an acquired taste though.
What was the reason they did for showing it?
Oh, I can't remember. That was
last day of school. They're just like, fuck it. Here's kids.
It was like 6th or like 7th grade. Like we were
sexual education.
That might have been it, actually. That might
could have been.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Worst one that I can remember was somebody brought a VHS tape of New Kids on the Block, and they made us watch it. And that's no shit.
Wow.
Like that was back when New Kids on the Block were, this was in elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
And like this group of girls brought a tape and they're like, oh, this is what we want to watch. And we're all just like sitting around watching this. And even then I was like, this is fucking lame. I was like 8. I'm like, no, this is
so much better than Vanilla Ice, man.
Yes.
Yes.
There's not much worse than Vanilla Ice, really, though, if you think about it.
Yeah, just go watch Cool as Ice.
Are either of y'all fans of the American Mary movie by the Soska sisters?
I have it. I have it on Blu-ray. I got it for like $4. I think by now everybody knows of my obsession for Catherine Isabel, so I like it, of course.
Yeah. She's got a big part in that movie too. I mean, she is.
Well, yeah, she's the lead, yeah. And then, there's all those scenes where she's like working as like an escort or whatever. So
that's there you go. Stuff. Phantasmat wants to know, and this is just for Rambo or Mark. You don't give a fuck what I think about it at all. He says, any thoughts on the Schizoid X-ray double feature? I'm thinking of a blind buy.
I have the Scream Factory double feature of that. Because like, isn't X-ray, that's Hospital Massacre, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I mean, Matt, if you like that kind of 80s slasher where it's just meh, it's not really a standout. I mean, if you want to complete your collection for something like that, I would say go for it just on that, but it's not very memorable. Schizoid, I can barely remember. I know it's Klaus Kinski. Yeah, I probably watched that maybe once or twice, and I had a better memory of Hospital Massacre like before when I had bought it, and I was like, this is going to be great. So I watched it again on the Blu-ray, and it wasn't as good as I remembered at all. So might be a skip.
I hate everything, so I hate this double feature. So Schizoid, Klaus Kinski is in it.
I will never not call it that from now on.
That's the perfect way. It's Schizoid. It's a bad murder mystery, very lame. X-Ray, pretty boring hospital slasher, not a lot of
Mhm.
blood. You just go watch like Sound Rage or Halloween 2 or such for a hospital setting. I mean, if you want to have it for your 80s slasher collection,
Mhm.
or just check them out on, maybe they're on Tubi or something.
Tuber.
As a blind buy, I don't know.
Little known fact that I've never been able to like get out of my head about fucking Klaus Kinski is that he molested his daughter and she wrote a book about it. So
Oh,
I really
Jesus.
don't give a fuck about anything that he's in.
I always remember that he's like the model for the Blade puppet in Puppet Master.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like the guy had like a big issue with him. He had just worked with Klaus Kinski on a movie and he kept fucking with him the whole time. So he's like, I'm gonna put your face on that doll. And he
Klaus
did.
Kinski-
Really?
Yeah, that's the design. Like that's where the idea of it came from. I mean, it was gonna be like a skull face thing, but they ended up modeling it after Kinski's face. And if you put it like side by side, you can totally see it.
I do
I can
see it.
now that you mention it, I can totally like see it in my head. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's a piece of trash, so I can't enjoy anything he's in ever again. Preminator says, "Do you guys like?
Say that.
Do you guys
Just
like the
see that.
TCM remake from 2003?" That's gonna be a hard pass for me, Preminator.
How about you, Mark?
I'd rather watch the original, obviously, but
Well,
I
yeah.
don't hate it. Like of that era or that decade of remakes, it's not the worst. That's still Nightmare for me. But will I go out of my way to watch it? I don't think so. I just watch the original.
I actually do. I saw in the theory, you know what? I like it compared to other remakes. I do.
Yeah.
I like Arlie Army. Edgar Martin. I don't like Andrew Bernarski as a person. He's got a lot of roid rage problems, and he's stupid enough to give his phone numbers. I'm sure if you go up and ask him, he'll give you a phone number and his address and his social security statement, because he's got like 2 pea pods of a brain cell. Best little fish ever.
Yeah, they're just he's
But-
firing on like one brain cell right now.
I like was it Jessica,
Beal.
not Alba, Biel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I mean, compared to the stuff afterward, do your thing,
Mhm.
because and then that last one where he's in the sunflower fields, seeing the sound of music. Or
He's
whatever
got the
hell he
baloney
did.
on his face.
Yeah. The one where he's in the sunflower field is great. He's popping up like one of them, what they call those little digger things in Super Mario Brothers. He's just like, he goes back down.
Yeah, the one with Mick Garrison.
Oh, God. Okay. What are you guys' thoughts on the I Know What You Did Last Summer franchise? You know what? That franchise does not hold up well. I'm not even going to lie. Like, I love those when they came out in the late 90s, but you
Mhm.
go back and try to watch them now, and they're just like, it's just a product of its time, to the point where like all of those people were just pseudo celebrities then, and now you don't even know
Mhm.
like half of them.
Yeah,
To me, anyway.
I haven't seen them in a long time. I remember seeing them when they came out. I mean, the horror stuff in the 90s was so few and far between. Like, but then when all the like slasher movies started coming out after Scream, I was like, this is great. I want to see everything. So it, from what I remember, I liked it, but again, it's been so long. And I think it starts with the Typo Negative song that I love.
Oh, Summer Breeze, yeah.
Yes, with that amazing like opening
Yeah.
shot over the water. Mhm.
It's that really slowed down and like drop tuning
Mhm.
kind of.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool though. I'll give them that. That might be the best thing about that movie is that song.
Yeah, I think that's what the critics said too.
I was thinking of the other song, that na 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 na, hush hush.
Oh, God. Yeah.
I could watch the first one. It did not need to be a trilogy with Jack Black and dreadlocks in the sequel,
Oh,
trying to be
yeah.
Jamaican. And then the third
I'm
one,
from-
it's like
I'm from the beach.
Yeah,
Lot of
he's
mice.
like an island guy, pothead or something. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Rastafarian white guy, Jack Black.
Oh god.
It was bad.
And the
Like,
third one is just, I don't know why. Didn't they do a TV show that no one saw?
they did, yeah. They did a
Oh.
fucking season of that nobody watched, yeah.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. I remember now. Yeah.
Because that's the thing to do
No
now.
one-
Apparently, take old film, like old horror films from the '90s, and do like TV shows out of them. That last one season.
Friday 13th is next.
Best Norris film.
A favorite, maybe not the best, is always Sidekicks.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I grew up with that one. I probably love it just as much as Garrett does. Like, it was a staple always on cable and stuff. So probably that one for me. And then of course Silent Rage is always cool.
Yep. What you got, man?
My favorite is Firewalker. I love the banter between
shit,
him
I
and
forgot about that. Yeah, that was the one I
Sonny
watched a million
Landham is the
times.
bad guy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Speed of SonnyLandham.com. He's the villain in that.
Hello, Chuck.
I love
Norris.
Firewalker.
How are you, sir? I would probably say Invasion USA for me.
Hmm.
I just love that he is basically like inside this guy's head the entire movie. That's the whole basis of the movie, really. Is that like he's the one guy that like got to this guy, and he's like he keeps thinking about him, and he's trying to get revenge on him and all this shit. And then
Mhm.
it ends up at the end exactly like what he was afraid was going to happens, which is amazing.
You tell Rostov it's time to die.
It's classic.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Conan or Red Sonja?
Mhm.
Conan.
Yeah, probably
Easy
Conan.
Conan.
Yeah, I just watched Conan again probably about a week ago, and yeah, the soundtrack to that movie is insanely fucking good. Like it's way better
Mhm.
than it even should be.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
it's a great movie. Let's see here. So Tim, I'm trying to figure out how to pronounce this. Tim Korea gonna make a huge recommendation. And Arrow put out the Shawscape Volume 2 box with the Insane Boxer's Omen. So he's
Oh, that
recommending-
movie. That movie is pretty crazy. Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
It's it's just nuts. I don't even know if I could describe what it's about. It's just insane.
Is it martial arts? Is it cop?
No,
Like,
it's
a Shaw.
It's like it's very in the realm of like it's almost like an acid trip. There's horror elements to it from what I remember. It's a really bizarre movie. Like, yeah, you just have to see it. I couldn't even describe it.
One of those movies, yeah. What
Okay.
do you guys think of Disney doing live action films?
They suck.
I
The
really
films
hate
have sucked.
Disney right
Yeah.
now, to be honest. Like they're not like amongst my favorite production or any kind of companies, really. The shit they're doing right now is just crazy.
I
Yeah.
found it funny they did a live action Lion King when everything's CGI, so it's not even live action anyway. But they
Yeah.
call it the live action Lion King.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and it's just they're useless. They're pointless. They're like
Yeah, I
they're
mean,
junk.
yeah, I mean, they're not doing anything original. It's just all their old stuff. So it's just whatever to me. Like I'll never sit and watch that stuff or buy it. I don't care. I'll stick to the animated stuff.
Let's see here. Have you guys seen Six String Samurai?
Yeah, I mean,
You
go ahead.
guys talked about. I remember when it was released, and you guys like, "What the hell is this movie?" I've seen the trailer. I haven't seen the movie. I've heard. Some of my friends saw they were disappointed in it.
Hmm.
I've owned that thing now for how long? When did that come out? Like 2 years ago or something?
Yeah.
I still haven't watched it. I still don't know. We were talking about doing a like a watch along commentary for it, but we never did. So I've just kind of just been sitting on it, like never
Mhm.
watched it.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be the favorite for a lot of people. I like it. But the big thing for me is always like replay value in anything. I don't know how much I'd watch that at any given time. It's fine though. I don't have an issue with it.
All right, guys. Red Sonja or Legend?
Red Sonja.
Yeah, I'd probably go Red Sonja.
I know people are like, what over Ridley Scott? I mean, I can laugh at Red Sonja.
Mhm.
Legend has some good visuals, but sometimes it's really damn boring.
Mhm.
I remember the visuals being good, and Tim Curry looks great.
Yeah,
Tom Cruise, that's like
that's the
his
thing
worst
everybody
performance.
remembers.
Yep.
That's like Tom Cruise. I know, you love Tom Cruise. I know that. It makes it Mission Impossible talk.
Hey, he's one of the best actors alive.
Is he though, Mark? Is he really?
Hey, he's got a significant dedication to his craft that's unmatched. I'll say that.
I mean, I'll give him this. He's not afraid to almost like kill himself because
Yeah.
he's got that crazy Scientology brain that thinks that he's going to be resurrected by aliens or whatever if he dies. So I guess that's why he's not afraid of death. But as a whole, like he's just
Mhm.
incredibly annoying as an actor and a person. And anyway, let's not go through that again. What's your favorite 4K release of the past year? I'll tell you what my favorite one is not is Martin. I'll probably tell you that easier than I can.
Oh,
What my
I
favorite.
heard about
Yeah.
that. I heard about that from you guys. That's too bad. But I mean, was that always going to be the case? If that was the
Yeah, there's no fixing that movie. Doesn't
Mhm.
matter what they do. I'm trying to think of what 4Ks I've seen this year.
Yeah, me too. Let me take
Yeah,
a
I've got 'em
glance
all, like,
over.
right here. So,
Mm,
well, fuck, man, you got the Second Sight Texas Chainsaw. That's pretty damn amazing. I just watched that like a couple days ago.
yeah.
I mean, that is for what that film is and when it was made. That's an insane transfer.
True.
But go ahead. I'm sure there's something else too. Maybe not even horror related.
I'm drawing a blank. I can't think of anything that's my favorite this year. Oh, actually, you know what? I do have one. Hold on, let me grab it. I'll be right back.
It's Debbie Does Demons.
I would not like really squat all, let alone 4K. So I can't answer the question.
Yeah, I think 4K is kind of a waste of time at this point, but I don't know. Neil Punk wants to know, what do you think about the Urban Legend films? I love the first Urban Legend, man. I will unapologetically say that is like one of my favorite post Scream movies like that, slasher films like that. I think I probably like that one more than like I Know What You Did Last Summer or like any of the other rip-offs of Scream that came along. That's actually a decent film to me.
Yeah, I like it as well. I think it's quite good. I forgot they made 3 of those.
Yep.
I
I've
can,
seen them.
I can, yeah.
Go ahead, Matt. I can't remember anything about them, so it don't matter.
I can watch the second one only because I like the setting that's in a film school. So being a film nerd, I kind of like that aspect of it. I also like the lead because I forget her name, but she was on this TV show I watched called House MD, and she was like one of the main stars of that. So I like that she was the star. Um, And then Anthony Anderson, he just killed off in the movie, so that was cool
Yeah.
too. So it has stupid killer outfit, like a fencing mask thing. I don't know why, but I could watch it compared to other movies. The third one, Bloody Mary, I don't remember a thing about.
I don't either. And I watched it probably about a year or two ago. I can't remember anything about it at all.
That's Urban Legend.
Yeah.
Love the first movie. Again, it was along that wave of all those post Scream slashers.
Yep.
The second one I thought was really bad. I still don't like that one. And the third one is like not worth talking about. So yeah. The
All
first one all the way for me though.
So what film do you got?
So I actually looked and it came out November of 22. So
You
it's not exactly this year. I thought it was, but
No,
I
you
didn't
can't
have
show
this.
it.
And it's kind of a cheat because it didn't come out this year.
It's against the
So,
rules.
but yeah, Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh wow. I haven't even seen that on
Yeah,
4K.
this is the Arrow version, the big wallet version.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't have it, and I love Scorsese, so I had to get it.
Cool.
Awesome. All right. Wes wants to know what's the most overrated or overhyped 80s slasher film? God, man.
It don't make people mad.
Madman.
Oh, fuck you, Mark.
I had to say it just to get that reaction. No, probably maybe Nightmares in the Damaged Brain. That was hyped for so long.
That's an awful movie. You're right.
Nobody could find it. And people kept hyping it up like, oh, it's the greatest thing. I get it. And I'm like, this is what everybody was so excited about.
I'll tell you the one that immediately comes to my mind because it's a well-known slasher film from the 80s, but it kind of sucks, is Slumber Party Massacre. Like, I've never really liked that movie or understood like what the hype of that movie was. I like the second one like 1,000 times better than the first one. But the first one is just very just generic kind of, slasher film. Reminds you of like a million of the other ones that you've seen.
I think the best thing about it, like, is in the third act when you finally get Russ Thorne talking.
Yeah.
I love that whole performance because it's so like offbeat and bizarre and funny at the same time. So yeah, I would agree. Like the first one is not the best by any means, and it is overhyped.
I'll name two. One, I do think is overrated, but I like it still. And then one I think is overrated and I hate. The one I think is overrated and I hate is The Prowler. I like the gore.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good call out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Todd Savini's gore is fantastic, but I can't even remember the characters, the story, or anything about it other than gore. Like, describe the movie other than gore. I can't do it. And I've seen that film 3 times.
It's just a guy going to the war, coming back because his girlfriend didn't want him or something like that. That's what I remember from it. I haven't seen it in a while.
Stupid like that. It really is like a not memorable movie at all. Like other than a couple of scenes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And why I do like the movie, but most overrated, the first Friday the 13th for me. I like it, but most of the sequels I like more.
Okay.
Either they have a bit more charm, and I like the first Friday the 13th, but like Sean S. Cunningham, I don't think is much of a director.
I'm gonna
compared
tell
to
you,
Wes Craven, John Carpenter. I just don't think he's a great director.
I completely agree with you. So for me, that movie, like all the way up until you get to Mrs. Voorhees, is a C-tier slasher. There's nothing about it that's like any better than any of 100 different movies like that, right? When you get to Mrs. Voorhees, though, like to me, like that's one of the best performances like in any slasher
Yeah.
movie. And past that point, like that whole third act is great to me. But you're right, the rest of it's boring as hell. It's not good. It's just not a good. It's not a well-made movie by any stretch.
Mm-hmm. I think
I
me
agree.
and Matt both
Yeah, go
talked
ahead.
about New Kids. We like that way more for Sean Cunningham.
Oh, the Sean. I probably rather watch Deep Star 6 than Friday 13th. Sean Cunningham. Just to see Miguel Ferrer's crazy performance. That I felt
Mhm.
sorry for him. I like Friday 13th. It's just, even the murder mystery is just like BS. Like, you can't solve it because she only comes in the last 10 minutes. So you can't
That's
even solve the
right.
murder mystery. It's a cheat. But
Mhm.
I still like it. It's just, I think the second film I like more.
Okay.
A lot of the sequels I like more. So
I like her performance, but I don't necessarily like that movie. I'll put it that way.
it is a great performance. I will agree. Although I don't know how an old woman can like throw people like through windows it's like she was Stone Cold Steve Austin and like
She's suplexing people
stuff a
through the
mother.
fucking window. Yeah.
It's like she lists that Harry Crosby is like boom, arrow.
Yep.
It's like how the hell did she took some steroids. That's why it was roid rage. Like Andrew
Yep.
Bernarski. That's why she went crazy. Her son died. She's like, I got pump weights.
She
It could be a
started juicing.
crossover.
It's like a
Home
prison
Sweet
somewhere.
Home.
Yeah.
Body by Jay Trainer as a Home Sweet Home crossover. Body by Jay
Body by
Steinfeld.
Jake.
Like, she
Man,
gave
I
him
will.
his steroids.
You bring up that movie, I will never understand why that movie's not on something, Blu-ray, anything.
There's Vinegar Syndrome all over it. I don't know what they're waiting
Yeah.
on.
I don't know. Von Erichs
Sweet
versus or the Freebirds. I'm gonna go with the Freebirds, just for the song.
Oh yeah. I'll probably say Von Erichs.
Well, Freebirds because Von Erichs are all dead, pretty much.
God damn, Matt.
I can't wait to see the movie that's coming out.
That's true.
I'm interested in that.
Oh,
That might be
speaking of
pretty
good.
which, isn't Dark Side of the Ring supposed to start here shortly? Like within the next couple
That's
of
right. It
days,
is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
Season 4, yeah. But anyway,
They're doing Tammy Sitch, right?
Candido and Tammy Lynn Bitch. Yep.
Mhm. Speaking
Oh,
of her ECW name, did you guys see Sabu show up?
Yes,
at
on
AEW?
AEW. Hey, look, man. Wasn't he
no.
wasn't he like hospitalized
did
not too
not.
long
He
ago for
was.
like yeah.
And he just showed up. I
He-
was like, what the hell?
He did not show up there. No.
Oh, he showed up, yeah.
And he hit somebody in the face with a chair and
Yep.
their nose was bleeding. I'm like, I don't think that part was supposed to.
No.
How you botched a chair shot already your first night back?
Oh, no.
Dude, that guy they don't understand though. He really doesn't give a shit. That's not
No.
that's not an angle. It's not a work. Like will hurt somebody in that company.
hmm
I'm kind of looking forward to that part of it. Sam Crow says, "Do you think we'll get Intruder on 4K at some point?" I hope so because that's like one of my favorite slasher films too.
Well, the Synapse release is amazing still.
It is,
I
yeah.
think it still looks great.
Did he
but-
mention that? He didn't mention that in the interview. He didn't mention Intruder amongst the 4K releases that he said were coming out. No, I'm not doing Tom Cruise retrospective.
I'll do it with you.
No. Favorite horror film soundtrack.
Oh, that's such a hard question right there.
There's a million of them that are great.
So
I know.
songs and not score, right? Soundtracks with
Soundtrack
songs.
or
Okay.
yeah, soundtracks or songs. Yeah.
I go Maximum Overdrive, the AC/DC.
That's a great choice.
Who made
Yeah.
it?
That is really good.
I gotta go with that.
I'm going to be honest. If I'm being honest, it's one of two films. It's either going to be Return of the Living Dead or it's going to be Trick or Treat.
Nice.
Yeah. I'd say Lost Boys is always one that I have on constant repeat. So probably that one.
Third.
I vaguely remember this movie because CK and I stayed up late one night and watched it, but Unhinged from 1982. It's boring.
I
as
remember
shit.
it. Yeah, that's what I remember.
Yeah.
It's not anything you want to watch. I remember it being not good at all. So that's my take.
Please do not buy that. Did any of you all? Well, my chat just disappeared. Son of a bitch! I hate the way this chat's set up. Then it reloads like 5,000 other questions ahead of that one. Okay, this is a good question. Do you guys ever get burned out watching films? And if so, what do you do to put yourself back on track?
No, not usually.
Yeah, and then I pretty much just do something else. Mainly, I play a video game because they're pretty lengthy
Same
and they
here.
could be fun. I mean, the one I played the other day has the best line I've heard ever because this guy he's going after this guy that killed his wife. So he says a line because the guy's going to a hospital. He's going there, and then he'll be there.
That's right.
Oh, this is the best line I've ever heard. He's going there, and then he'll be there.
Oh man. I the only time I ever got burnt out was when we were given films and I didn't want to watch them. Like if it's me and I'm just sitting around picking films, that I actually want to watch, I don't ever get burnt out. But when you have to review shit for other companies and things like that, it's real easy to do that. You just watch stuff.
Yeah, it
don't
becomes
care about-
tedious. It's a chore more than something that you like to do.
Preminator wants to know what physical media company would I want to work for? That's easy. Synapse. I think they're definitely the company that I have the best chance of actually being able to work for. I think Don May would let me like run around and get him shit and stuff. I don't think I'd actually do anything of significance there, but I think he would let me be a gopher. Let's see.
Maybe Arrow or Second Sight for me. One of those two.
Yeah.
Severin just to watch the ship explode around.
Oh, it's gonna happen very soon.
I will say there's one thing I look forward to because I'm a sucker for these movies. They didn't announce it, but there's a hint they're doing those Bruce Ploitation movies, those Bruce Lee
God.
ripoffs.
Yeah, they call me Bruce.
And like I'm a sucker for these kind of movies, and if they do that, I'm buying it. I love it. Like this one, he goes to Padoda, why the hell you call it? He goes up some floors for people. There's a bit where a guy bites the head off a snake, and he uses the blitz to hit the guy in the eyes to blind him during the fight. There's the other one where Bruce Lee dies, and then he teams up with Popeye and other people to fight James Bond, the Man with No Name, Dracula. Emmanuel's in it. It's called The Dragon Lives Again.
That
And
sounds
Bruce
awesome.
Lee, like when he wakes up from the dead, he has a boner for some reason. I don't. The Dragon Lives Again, so those are crazy.
What about the Bronson exploitation movies?
Oh, the guy that
looks like him.
He sounds nothing like him. I mean, you sound more like Bronson than him. Seriously. It just takes me out of it.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I'm trying
choices.
I'm trying to keep track of all these questions because there is a literal ton of them. Hold on a second. So for all the people that are in here right now, please thumbs up this, like, and hit the button and bells and whatever the hell he's always talking about doing. We got a bunch of new shows coming up soon. I don't know what they are right off the top of my head, and I don't really care right now. But if you care,
Worst zombies of all time on the 31st.
Right. The 31st. Thank you, Matt. I'm glad that you brought that one up. Worst zombie films of all time coming up on the 31st at, I believe, 10 with me and CK and Garrett from Born to Be Rad. Do you think Phantasmat wants to know that Ty West, X, Pearl, and Maxine is the best new trilogy in horror? I can't wait to hear Matt's opinion on this.
I've only seen X, to be fair. I haven't seen the other two, to be fair.
And you loved it.
X, fuck no. I don't get why they have the girl play like the also the old lady as well. That was, and I could tell it was like this bad old makeup.
Mhm.
I'm like, it was like Guy Pearce or Prometheus or something, or it was just this obviously bad old makeup, and not a lot happened except an old lady was horny, and she killed people because she was too horny. Like,
I
that's
mean,
just-
what else do you need, man? That's the
Yeah,
valid.
that sounds like a good horror movie to me. I mean, I don't know.
I'm horny.
That's
as
cool.
shit. I'm gonna kill your ass.
Yeah, I don't know.
Really,
I mean,
legitimately, the plot of that movie basically was, I'm horny and can't get laid, so you guys must die. Like,
Mhm.
that was the plot.
yeah.
I
A little bit more intricate
that's
than
gonna
that,
give
but
it to you.
yeah.
I think the only thing I didn't like about X was probably the fact that everybody else got naked except Jenna Ortega. I was like, what the fuck, man?
Mark, I didn't think about that, but yeah.
Like everybody's like stripping down and showing the goods, and when it's her turn, they like cut away. I'm like, come on.
She's classy. She's a class act.
Yeah. No,
Uh,
Pearl though, great performance.
I'm telling you. Yeah.
I thought what
Is
they
that
were
the
able
one-
to get away with the budget, the
Is that the
limited
one
budget
she
they
has
had.
sex with a scarecrow?
Kinda, yeah.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Night of the Scarecrow, Triple X parody.
She has a night with the scarecrow. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
I'll pass on that.
This is an interesting question though. What film do you actually think is scary?
Mm.
Mm. When I first saw the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I lived on a farm in Iowa, and I thought it was legitimately intense. I'll say the word intense because of just the way it felt. It wasn't a documentary, but it felt. It's weird saying it felt real, but it felt down and dirty enough that, I mean, people say that, oh, the filmmakers are dangerous. It's okay. That's a soundbite. I kind of
Yeah.
get what they mean in watching that film the first time. I would say that one, the original.
That's a good choice.
I don't really have one. I mean, maybe something when I was a kid, but I wait, Jackson Jack. I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, he says she's only 19. Hey, I don't see the issue there.
Mark.
But
Uh-huh.
yeah, like when I was a kid, of course, stuff scared me, but like nothing like since I've been an adult or even a teenager. I can't really think of anything.
Well, what scared you as a kid?
Well, the first Nightmare. I saw them in order, and I was really young when I saw that. I think
the whole movie or a scene? Was there a specific scene that freaked you out the most, or was it the whole movie?
probably the whole movie. Charles Bernstein's music, just the whole thing. Like it was that one for sure, and probably Hellraiser to a degree. So maybe those two.
Of anything recently, I would say The Witch. I just like had a really weird vibe about that movie. For some reason it freaked me out. So that would be my pick for anything recently. For like older stuff, no, I mean there hadn't been a whole lot where I was like genuinely scared by it that I can think of.
Mhm.
I mean, the first time I saw The Exorcist, I was freaked out, but that was like I was probably 13 or 14, something like that. So I don't know since then if there's like an older movie that I look back on and like, oh, I'll tell you one that is genuinely creepy though. Just, I mean, to watch is the one with Donald Sutherland in it. Don't Look Twice.
Oh, Don't Look Now.
Only Now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one where like the whole film is basically just really upsetting and off-putting and like
Mm-hmm.
just odd. Kind of like Alice Sweet Alice too.
Did the big reveal at the end get you?
Yeah. It did the first time I saw it. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
All right. So what is your favorite character in a Friday the 13th film that's not Jason?
Roy.
Not Jason. Amy Steele.
That's 100% easy for me. Ethel. Carol Locatell.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite.
No, I'll change it. Amy Steele, I love. I'll go with John D. LeMay because I can relate to him. And just goes to hell. I don't want to. I felt sorry for him. First off, the girl he married was a bitch, and who dumped him, and then he has to protect her ass. So I felt sorry for him from Jason. Then he's got to protect his baby. And he's got to deal with killer demon worms. I felt sorry for him the whole time. So John D. LeMay.
It's a fair point.
Yeah. My answer is still Roy.
What was your favorite kill in the franchise? That's another part of the question too. Favorite kill in that franchise? That is tough, man. There's like 1,000.
The one I always think of is the guy standing on his hands as just the shot of Jason coming down to the clincher, as I put it, just right on the clincher, like a wishbone. I mean, you see enough, but just the whole idea and the way it's framed is very interesting, the way it was shot.
I think the only one in any of those movies where I was like, what in the hell? And it's a rip off of another movie, but is the wheelchair kill from part 2. Where I was like, they really went above and beyond with that one. So I'll pick that one.
Crispin Glover's death, I think, for me.
That's a good one too, yeah. Sam Crow wants to know, is it just me or is Arlie Ermy the main villain in the Texas Chainsaw remake and not Leatherface?
You could make an argument for that, sure.
Yeah, I think he's like the main villain of that movie, yeah.
It's kind of like Chop Top in part 2. That's kind of the role I kind of think of where they get more, they're more vibrant and they're more energetic.
Yeah.
And I mean, I like Chainsaw 2. I like the remake. So I kind of like Arlie Ermy Chop Top for similar reasons. So the prequel sucks. It has one of the dumbest endings. I mean, I don't know how the hell that a guy who's 8 feet tall, 5 feet wide, and has a 7-foot chainsaw sneaks into the back of her car and is sneaking in there while the girl drives away, and he maneuvers his chainsaw. I want to sneak up and chainsaw behind your back while you drive, and she can't notice a 7-foot tall, 400-pound guy with a 30-pound chainsaw in a car the size of a peanut. I don't know how that works, but it was so stupid. The whole movie was stupid, but that prequel sucks. I'll say that.
Here's a simple question. Do you believe in Bigfoot?
Nope.
Sure, why not?
No.
Mm-hmm.
I think we would have found him by now.
What are the best experiences at the movies you've ever had?
It wasn't the best movie, but just the audience excitement. Probably Freddy versus Jason.
See, that's the first film that came to mind for exactly the same reason. Like
people were, I mean, there was probably, it looked like it was raining popcorn because everybody was jumping, and there were people like all the seats are filled and stuff, but people were standing in the aisles, like on the side and the front, like it was packed, and everybody was cheering and screaming and laughing, and it was probably the most interactive crowd I've ever seen, like for a movie ever. Either that one or My Bloody Valentine 3D. When I saw that was probably just as exciting because seeing it in 3D, I think people were just not used to having that experience. I think that was just starting back up, the whole 3D craze. So yeah, probably either one of those for sure.
And, no audience really reacted except either I had like two ladies just wouldn't stop talking or stuff like bad experiences. I would say good just because the movie itself, the three that come to mind is Rambo 4, just seeing the 50 caliber massacre in the theater with the surround sound. And I'm like, this is gorier than all the Friday 13th films put together. Jesus. And then two films I saw in 3D because I thought the 3D was fantastic: Dread and Gravity. I'm a Sandra Bullock stands. So Gravity, I love seeing that in 3D.
Gravity
I felt like I
looked
was
amazing.
in space.
Yeah, that's still one of the best 3D movies, or I'll say modern day 3D movies ever.
Because it felt like you were in space by the way they did that. And then Dread, sadly, I was one of the only people in the theater. I still love that film, and you would see the blood literally leave the screen and like overpass, and that was a cool experience too. So,
and The Walk.
I didn't see that one. Yeah, I've heard good things.
You'd get vertigo
Joseph
watching
Gordon-Levitt?
that. Yes, that one.
Yeah,
you get vertigo watching it. It was pretty trippy. It was good though. I enjoyed the movie.
I have three that come to mind, and some of these we've told this story, multiple times on the show too. The first one is Freddy versus Jason, like Mark said, because that movie theater was packed. There were people standing like on the sides of the theater watching it, and people were going like nuts about anything that was going on. Like he said, it's not a good movie, but like that was a great experience in the theater. The second one was kind of a good movie, but it was also like people were going nuts for parts of it, like Devil's Rejects. Like there was a ton of rednecks in there that were going nuts for anything to do with like the rednecks in the movie, especially the ending. I'll never forget. People were like, when they start playing Freebird, and people are losing their shit in that theater, like screaming and throwing shit and stuff. And the other one, I think we might have been the only people in the theater for this one, or maybe there was one other couple or something, but was when we saw High Tension, just because like we had heard nothing about it. We knew nothing of what it was going to be about. And it just like blew us away. Like CK and I both saw that at the theater when it came out, and just sitting through that movie and you're like, what in the fuck? Like we couldn't believe that movie was out in a theater around that, Those are mine. Okay, this might be harder for me than you guys, but Halloween 4 or Friday 4. By the way, Matt, if your phone's gonna die, like at any point, like just hop off.
Oh no, I'm good. It's going dry. I could stay for the whole thing.
Oh, cool.
Halloween 4 or Friday 4 is that's a tough decision for me, actually.
I actually like both. I'll go with Halloween 4 because it doesn't have Corey Feldman. I scroll less and less. I can watch Corey. I don't like Corey Feldman as much as I used to, so I watch Halloween 4.
I can kind of get that now with his little shenanigans running around singing and shit. He's still doing Michael Jackson dances and like.
I know, it's so good. It's awesome.
I won't get into detail. I'll just say the whole shebang with that Corey Haim documentary rubbed me the wrong way with what he was saying about like half it was like talking crap about your friend who passed away. I'm like, he was this.
This is the one on YouTube I think I've seen.
Yeah, and then he wrote a book. Is like he's writing chapters. Oh, Corey Haim had bad teeth, but I'm like, dude, the guy's passed away. Leave his teeth alone. You
give a fuck what anybody said. Corey Haim Fast Getaway is amazing, and so is License to Drive.
I was always a Haim guy.
Yeah,
Watchers, baby. I got the
Watchers is great. So is Silver Bullet. Silver Bullet's amazing.
Yeah. down to the official Blu-ray watchers over here. Official, I'll put it that way.
Official. I will
Yeah,
even go as
official.
far to say, because I just rewatched Silver Bullet not too long ago, that Silver Bullet might be one of the most underrated films that came out of the Stephen King adaptations.
Oh yeah, I agree. Always enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Friday 4, by the way, because I love both those films, but I think Friday 4 is the best overall Friday the 13th movie in terms of like being an actual
Mhm.
movie.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Friday 4 for me as well.
Okay. Sam Crow wants to know, what is our setups? I love these questions. In terms of like watching movies. I have in front of me a 32-inch television. Don't be jealous. And a sound bar that I watch movies in this room on when we do like commentaries and shit. In the front room, I have a 65-inch QLED TV. And then I think I've got like another 32-inch in the bedroom. So it's nothing like astounding.
It's a TV. I don't know the details.
Matt, that's so killer.
It's a region-free Sony Blu-ray player, and I do have a 4K player, and some video game systems, PS2, PS3, PS4. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I need.
For me, I have a 77-inch OLED TV right here.
You son of a bitch. How much does that cost, by the way? Just out of curiosity.
$3,000.
Shit.
And I have a 70-inch LED TV that was $2,000, and it's all hooked up to my two PCs, which this PC was $3,000. My other PC is $2,000, and then I have all my three computer monitors right here, a 4K one. I watch movies on those, and all the screens are connected. So
Good
Yeah.
Lord.
And then
Did you
I
sell
have
an
a
organ on the black market or something to
Mhm.
pay for all that?
no.
So your titties.
And then I have a surround sound system. It's all connected together. So
Impressive.
Well, that just shit all over ours, Matt.
I'm just nuts like that though. Like I
Agree to that.
yeah, I see something I want, like I'm like, it's only 3,000. That's not that bad.
I would be like,
I
$3,000, yeah.
I'm like $300. That's too bad. Yeah, cheaper. I'm stingy.
I'm trying to figure out this question. I think I know what he means, but I just want to run this by y'all. What songs do you listen to for exercises? You mean
Exercise, probably like
Yeah.
if you exercise, do you listen to any songs?
I thought he was like talking about
I don't
pulling teeth.
exercise. I don't exercise.
When I do work out, oddly enough, I don't like listening to music. Like having these kinds of headphones on while I work out is a pain because I sweat and like there's this big fucking like pool of sweat underneath. So I hate that. And then like using like AirPods or whatever, like I can't do that either. Like, so I just honestly watch stuff on TV while I work out, which may seem kind of weird, but I'd rather put something on like in the background and then just work out.
I listen to people scream. I'm like in American Psycho, same type of thing. This question is actually like a pretty unique question. I've never seen anything like this on here. Phantasmat wants to know, if you had to start your collection all over again, what would you do different?
I would be patient because there's a lot of movies that then got like DVD or it got a Blu-ray, but there's no features. I'm like, you know what? If I just waited, I could just buy it once instead of like, well, upgrade to DVD, but then upgrade to Blu-ray, then upgrade to
Mhm.
save that money and just be patient and be like, I'll just buy it once,
Mhm.
not 3-4 times. And also, like I said, back in the day, it was a bit of an addiction. I want to get all the Wesley Snipes movies. I want to get all. I'm like, no, I'll just watch them somewhere
Yeah.
online, and I'll just save my money.
Yeah, probably the same
Uh,
for me. Wouldn't have double dipped on so many titles. And it's probably not as many as people might be thinking. But yeah, just being more patient with stuff. And I did go
Actually,
through a phase of collecting all the action stuff as well. So I know what you mean.
would you keep the DVD and have the Blu-ray? Because I know DVDs, like some people say, there's alterations or there's stuff going on. Or would you still be like, you know what? I'm just going to stick to one or the other, or
Um, probably just go with Blu-ray or just high definition overall.
yeah.
Um, I I mean with the OLED, like I see so many more imperfections. There's only like maybe like 5 or 10 movies that are on DVD that are not on Blu-ray or 4K that I would watch, but yeah, you just see so many more imperfections. I can't do DVD. I'll never invest in it, like unless it's something very rare and specific that I just love or have to have. And like I wouldn't mind watching it for quality purposes. It's more just like I have it and I can watch it.
I was sitting here thinking the only thing that I would probably do differently would be not try to collect every damn thing. Like I would try to like focus on one thing rather than like because there's a period where I went through like figures. There's a period where I went through vinyl. There's a period where I went through posters. So now I've got all this shit everywhere that I can't do anything with. If I would have just probably focused on films or something like that, maybe just films and posters, I think that would have been enough.
Well, I mean, you could give some of it to me. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll take some of those
Motherfucker,
posters.
you could give some of it to me too. Like all that shit you got in there. God. Mr. $3,000 TV.
well, another answer you have, you mentioned before, you probably when I was sold your sleepaway camp was a 3 poster.
I still don't know why
was
the
it-
hell I did that. To this day, I can't figure out why I did that. Yeah, it was Sleepaway Camp 3, and I've got the second one. I don't know if I had the second one then or not, but like I would have the whole collection of them now if I hadn't sold the third one for just no reason. And it was to a dude that he was a good dude. Like he was a fan of the show and everything. And he came down to visit us, actually came down to the town from Indiana. Um, and that was one of the things that he wanted. I just sold it. I don't know why to this day. I'd forgotten all about that until he brought it up on one of the shows. What's your guys' favorite theater snack?
I would go with popcorn, but I wouldn't. Everything you now got to be alone just costs so much. But I
Yeah,
guess of those, I would choose popcorn.
My favorite one is the dollar ones you get at the store that you pack into somebody's purse when you go in, so you don't have to actually buy the shit.
yeah.
That's what I do every single time we do that.
Yeah, I used to do that a whole lot, especially in the 90s. I don't eat it anymore, but back when I did eat Taco Bell, I remember I would get a bunch of fucking tacos and like all kinds. I would have so much food when I go see the movie.
No, you fucking wouldn't. You
Yeah,
bring
and then-
Taco Bell into the movie.
Yeah, I mean a slice
How
of
did-
pizza, whatever I could
They didn't
hide.
stop
And,
you?
like, no,
How
I
did
mean, I would hide it,
nobody
though.
notice
Well, see,
that?
like the theater that I predominantly went to in the 90s was attached to like this big mall. So I would have like maybe a couple VHS in a bag or something else in a bag. So I just dump it in there. And then like when the movie starts, to avoid all the noise, I pull it out during like the trailers. So
So killer. You putting sauce and shit on them fucking tacos. Even. Hold on one second.
oh, but wait, well, actual theater snack food though, nachos icy. Those two. Sugar and salt.
Yeah. Oh God,
You
disturbing
put sugar on nachos?
No, he's talking about
You
like
put
No, I just mean the combination of the two. I mean, it's just
okay.
sugar and salt.
At first, I'm like, you put sugar on nachos? I don't know. I've heard worse, weirder people. So
I don't want diabetes. I'm good.
Wolf of Brimley,
Oh man.
diabetes.
Harrison Ford will be doing those commercials next.
Did you see that? Somebody, this was so killer. There was an interview up before he passed away. And somebody did at a convention where they went up to him and they asked him like, "What's your favorite like candy?" And he thought about it for a second, and he goes, "I don't eat candy. I got diabetes."
That is awesome.
Let's see. I'm trying to find a question on here. Holy shit. Okay. No, I can't even put that up on here. I wish I could. That's actually pretty funny. Jackson Jack wants to know, of all the movies you got for free for doing reviews, did you get anything good? Oh yeah, like we got a ton of really good stuff. It's just you had to wade through a ton of really bad stuff too. Like I was saying, one of the other shows, we got all like the Sony stuff and like we got a lot of Screen Factory stuff before they got mad at us, and a lot of the major studio stuff we got. So we got some really good films back in the day, except, you know, most of that was DVDs because the time period we were doing the show was when that's what they were releasing, like DVD. It wasn't until much later in us doing the show that started getting Blu-rays of any kind. And that was very limited because they weren't doing a lot of Blu-rays really. The one thing I miss about that time period and getting those things was not the movies, but like the promotional pieces that they would send to you.
Okay.
So like they would send these little vials, like for My Bloody Valentine, the remake, you got like a little thing with like a fake heart in it, like a little plastic case with like a fake heart in it. And then they would send you like zombie hot sauce from like certain like zombie movies. It's just
That's cool.
weird trinkets of stuff that used to be part of like the promotional stuff that these studios.
Did you save that stuff?
Yeah, I've got some of it over here somewhere. Yeah. I've still got, they sent a, like one of those fake bleeding heart kind of like, stress ball things from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It was either the remake or the beginning. And I've still got that over here.
Wow.
That is awesome.
That'd be a cool like show and tell.
The most awesome thing like that I've got though, I bought off Slippy. And I've never seen this again since I bought it from him. I've got an Evil Dead 2. It's a coffin that has coming soon Evil Dead 2 on the outside of it. On the inside of it, it's got like a fake rubber finger. Why? Like, I have no idea. But it was a promo item that they did for Evil Dead 2 that I've yet to see anybody on eBay or anything like that.
Is that, can you put your hand in the finger? Is like one of those like tricks you open it and you try to scare people?
That would be awesome if it was like Phantasm style, like, you know, where you could put like they put your finger up through there or whatever. No, it's just a coffin with Evil Dead 2 written on it that has like a finger inside of it. You can't do anything with it. It's like a solid.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not sure why, but it's pretty cool.
Someone giving Bruce Campbell the finger, I guess. I don't know.
Somebody said you just hear a loud crack of a hard taco shell. Talking about Mark eating it.
Oh, that's why I always went for soft shell. So
yeah, that was probably a good move. Where do people get posters these days? You don't, to be honest with you. Like, You can go to eBay, but they'll be a damn fortune.
Yeah. I mean, if you want some reprints, Amazon's probably the best place.
Yep.
Mm.
Oh, that's a good question. Cornholio wants to know how much of your collection is from overseas.
A lot for me.
Yeah, Mark, that's like 90% of your shit. I feel like.
Yeah, it's a lot. Let me think. I'd say maybe 30 to 40%. Yeah, it's quite a bit for me.
I barely have any. I would say like maybe 10% of my collection is from overseas.
I agree. Same with me.
I almost want to do that question, but I don't know. I don't know the answer to it, so I'm not even going to put it up there. What are you guys' thoughts on Dracula films?
Just any of them,
Apparently,
I guess. Or
Not a fan of Dracula 2000. I know that.
What
like
about-
Gerard Butler?
what
No.
about
You like Gerard Butler?
Not in that, no.
what about Argento's Dracula 3D, Mark?
It's it's not that bad.
That's right. That's right.
That's what I'll say.
God awful. Praying mantis. God awful. What? That probably is. That's gotta be the worst Dario Argento film I've seen. Is Dracula 3D, man. I can't.
No, it's not. It's actually not the worst.
No.
Well, okay, I haven't seen all of them like you guys have, so it's the worst I've seen so far. I'll say that. The praying mantis CGI stuff, and wasn't there something else? There probably was something I can't remember.
There's a lot.
I like
of bad
Bela
shit in
Lugosi
that,
Dracula. Yes, I like Bela Lugosi Dracula. I like the Dracula in the Monster Squad. I forget the actor's name. Duncan. I think his first name is Duncan. I would say those are my two favorite Draculas. I don't mind Bram Stoker's Dracula as a movie. I don't mind it. Although Keanu Reeves is horrible. Because I see your avatar. Yeah, that's Keanu Reeves is awful. I like Keanu Reeves, but he's awful in that movie.
He is.
I can't remember I didn't see Renfield, but before that, I can't remember what the last Dracula thing I saw that I liked. Wasn't that Dracula Untold? Wasn't that?
Oh God.
Or what was the last decent Dracula film? Like, other than Renfield, because I haven't seen it, but before that, I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
Yeah, been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. I can't think of anything.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. I actually liked Renfield, like 50. I don't know, 5 out of 10 ish. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't go out seeking Dracula movies for something. Like vampire movies have never really been like my thing, and neither have like werewolf movies. There's some good ones, but there's a lot of fucking bad ones of both those genres out there.
Yeah,
that's
definitely. Unfortunately, I can't think of any movies per se. I mean, I could name some shows that I like that have vampires. True Blood, obviously.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever watch that show, the Del Toro show, The Strain?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Never did.
I really like that show.
Mark, were you a Buffy fan? You like Buffy?
I watched it when it first started. I liked it. I kind of got away from it, so I've never finished it. But I would say in the beginning, yeah, I did dig it a lot.
How about the movie Buffy with Pee Wee Herman?
Honestly, I like it because it's silly fun. Like you couldn't get away with something like that now. Although I guess people would say Renfield is kind of like that, but
yeah,
it's. I mean, Christy Swanson.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So yeah, enough said. And David Arquette's in there as a vampire.
That's
It's
true.
really fun. Yeah.
On the flip side of that last question that we had, what are your worst theater experiences?
The last Avengers movie.
Really?
Not because I hated the movie. It was because I don't know, I have the worst luck with certain things. But like if anybody has any idea of like the MCU stuff, everyone knows that all those movies that have been leading up to this Avengers movie, that was the culmination of everything. So I go in there, I sit all the way at the back, and fucking Kane and Undertaker like sit right in front of me. These guys were like 7, 8 feet tall. I couldn't see shit the whole time. So I'm like, I literally had to sit on the arm of the seat to like go over and like actually see what was going on. I sat like that for like 2 hours. So yeah,
Yeah, I could see why that would be
it was awful.
shitty.
I will go with the Thing prequel. I don't know why I saw in the theater. Not only was the movie terrible, but it was like loud, like mind-numbingly loud. There was like hurt in my ears. I don't know if it was just a loud ass movie with all the dumb jump scares
Mm-hmm.
and then the surround sound, and there was like no one else in the theater, so I felt more like an idiot. I don't know why I saw in the theater. I guess just, hey, we're going to see a movie, and I'm supposed to give movies a chance. Well, that movie sucked.
You were a lot
Yeah, it
more
was awful.
optimistic back then.
Yeah.
I was, but you watch movies like that, you're cynical. A lot more
For good
cynical.
reason. I mean, it's
I'm
not a
trying
good movie.
I'm trying to remember. There's a scene in that movie where, and this is when I knew the movie was fucked, where I think they're in a helicopter or a plane. I can't remember
Helicopter,
which.
when the guy opens up like this,
Yes.
like
And it's all
like
like
his face cracks, and it's like,
yeah, and it
and like
all
they're
is like
Super
video
Saiyan.
effects.
Kid was
And I was just like, this is fucking awful. And it never was not awful. Like it was
Right. Mm-hmm.
My worst theater experience by far was the Fog remake. That is maybe
Yes.
one of the only films I've ever seen where we wanted to leave, but the only reason we didn't was because we were doing the show, and like we were like really into like you got to watch the whole movie and like so you can do a review and all that shit. But I can just remember sitting there, almost falling asleep, and just being like, I want to leave this so bad. Like,
Mhm.
there's nothing redeeming about that movie.
Would it count the one where someone stole your stuff when you were in the theater?
Well, most of
Sorry, I just
most of that was CK
it
stuff.
wasn't in the theater, I guess.
Yeah, that would also count. That was My Soul to Take, by the way, was the movie, which is also a
Whoa.
fucking horrible movie. And we sit through all that and then go outside, and like I was teaching at that time, and I had like a briefcase full of people's like papers that weren't graded and shit like that, and they stole that. So I had to report all that, and that was a whole fucking nightmare. And then they stole the video camera that we used for all the on the road stuff. That was a fucking nightmare. It seemed like they stole something else too, but I can't remember exactly what it was. And of course, we got none of it back, and never heard anything back about it or anything like that. So yeah, that's probably up there in the top 5 awful movie experiences. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we're just doing worst movies, The Fog was so bad. I had no hope going in, but I think that was like a date movie for me. So like
Well,
I was more interested in that aspect of it. But
yeah.
yeah, oh man. I couldn't believe it. Like my jaw was on the floor the whole time because it was just so bad.
It's like
One
a
of the worst
Disney
things.
ride come to life or something. Like that's what that movie reminded me of. Just awful.
The Nightmare remake was like that for me as well.
Oh,
Saw that
fuck.
in the theater.
Yeah.
I saw it for free. I did not pay. And I would have left had I drove to get there. It was a big group of us, and yeah, I wanted to walk out. It was so bad.
It's an awful movie. Nobody ever talks about that movie anymore. It's so bad that it like even transcends anybody wanting to talk about it. Like people will talk about Rob Zombie's Halloween and all that stuff. Nobody ever says anything about the Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
Mhm.
Just like, please let it not exist. Okay. Sean wants to know that he says he likes the X-Files streams that we did. Did you ever think of doing Millennium? You wanted to do that, Mark. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we could. I'm up for it if you guys are. The
wanna
only
do-
thing with that is, do you guys have that?
I don't own it, but I could. Well, I'm sure I could get it
Okay.
legally, of course.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. I want to do Freaky Links. When are we going to do that?
The Ethan Embry show.
Yeah.
Freaky Links, man.
Yeah, I remember them talking about that. Like it was supposed to be full on horror and like just chaos like every episode. But then like the studio was like, we want more comedy. Could you tone down like the horror stuff? So they were kind of in a weird position of trying to find the tone of the show as they were doing that first season. And that probably is what ruined it. I mean, it was a .com show before that was like a thing. So
Let's see.
Freaky Links.
Freaky Links, indeed. Name. Oh, Jesus Christ. Name one movie and one band or singer that most people hate, but you will defend until your dying day.
I could probably do the movie. I don't know about band because I don't really ask people too much about like, hey, do you like this band or do you like this singer?
Yeah. It's probably best not to do that in this day and age.
Most people hate.
Okay.
Well,
I'll
defend.
I know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say the singer would be Geddy Lee, because everybody always talks about like, you know, either you love or hate the way that guy sings, and usually most people hate it because they say he sounds like a hamster, and I can't really dispute that other than to say that it fits with that particular style of music. Now, in terms of a film that I would defend until my dying day, I mean, there's a million of those that people shit on. Crazy Fat Ethel, Munchies. Man, not Munchie. Let's get this straight. Not Munchie, not the one Munchie, but Munchies. The Masters of the Universe, Dolph Lundgren one.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot that I can think of that I would defend.
Yeah, like you, there's a million I would defend as well. Predator 2, which everyone hated.
Yeah.
I never understood. So I'll pick that movie. And then band, I'll pick Creed. I've always liked Creed.
I would pick Creed.
I always sincerely liked it with arms wide open.
If
I love Creed.
Creed's one of the bands.
Gave me higher.
Creed's one of those bands that everybody hates until the shit comes on, and then you like secretly know every word to it, and you're like, yeah.
I've always loved Creed. So, and Nickelback, I never understood why people hated them. I mean, I always liked Nickelback, but it's like they're the worst band ever, and I'm like, I don't know. I've heard a lot worse. That's just me, though.
I have heard a lot worse.
Creed, I'll pick Creed.
I'm surprised you didn't say Joey Ramone.
Ah, yeah, that's true. I think the only person who really ever makes fun of Joey Ramone is CK, though. Most regular people kind of get it. He just like picks everything to make fun of. But yeah, I mean, he can't sing. I mean, not in a traditional sense. Neither can Lemmy in a traditional sense. But like,
Lemmy's
just
voice.
works. Yeah. For those bands, that style just kind of works.
Mhm. Oh, and movie for me, it would probably be like Matt said, Predator 2. I love either that or RoboCop 2. That was shit on a lot for a while. I think more people might be
Mhm.
coming around on that one.
Well, this will be easy. Favorite genre of film storage? Huh? Like, yeah. I think y'all know that from me.
Same here. Horror all day.
Action. I wrote action. I love horror, but action is my number one.
I'd say action's definitely my close second too.
Same here. Action's my number 2.
All right.
Yeah,
Terminator wants to know thoughts on See No Evil 1 and 2. Was it the second one directed by the Soska sisters? Just talking about them.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. Wasn't the guy who directed the first one like a porn director?
Yeah.
Didn't he do porn? Yeah, that's what,
Yeah, he did.
it's a wise choice by Vince to get him to direct that. I, in a weird way, I didn't mind the first See No Evil too much. Yeah, it was fine. And then the
I didn't
second one,
either.
I bring up Catherine Isabel every stream.
Seems
So,
like you have to.
I mean, these questions. But yeah, I actually got a really awesome edition of See No Evil 2 in the other room. It's amazing.
Has it got like Catherine Isabel on it somehow or another?
It should. She should be
Oh,
on
yeah.
the cover. But no, it's got Kane, and it's like hell, I'll show it at the end of the stream. I'll just run and grab it at the end of the stream.
I just kind of echo like what you were saying. Like I really thought the first one was okay. I
Mhm.
didn't like hate it or anything like that.
Mhm.
I know I've seen the second one, but I don't remember a damn thing about it. It's just one of those movies that was in the middle of a bunch of other movies we were watching around that time that all kind of gets jumbled together.
Mhm.
Favorite childhood cartoon or show? That's easy for me, actually. I don't even really have to think about it. G.I. Joe.
Childhood cartoon, Batman animated series.
Well, I don't know. I mean, just part of my username. The Rambo cartoon. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Ninja Turtles, of course.
that was an awesome cartoon, by the way.
Yeah, speaking of G.I. Joe, you ripped off G.I. Joe.
Yeah,
The Force of Freedom. This is fucking.
I can
show called-
remember having the Rambo action figure from. I think it was from that show,
Mhm.
and like it had the little
Yeah.
knife and shit with it. Like that was the thing to have back then.
What's kind of funny is a cartoon about this mentally disturbed Vietnam vet that almost
Well-
gets cut and beats up police officers. So it's hey kids, enjoy this mentally disturbed Vietnam vet that play with them in the sandbox.
Well, fuck, they even had like a Toxic Avenger cartoon at that around that time. I mean,
Yeah. It's crazy.
which I actually kind of
But
enjoyed. I'm trying to think of what else was on around that time that I watched that was like, I mean, show wise, there was a ton of great like TV shows on like when I was growing up, like because that was the thing everything was focused on was TV. So you had like a million different shows. I could go through them all, but like, the ones that stick out in my head, like Punky Brewster as a kid, like you had Punky Brewster, you had Family Matters, you had that came along a little bit later. You had like fucking what was that one? Different Strokes and all those rip-offs of different Strokes that came around. Like there was a ton of shows like that.
Yeah. Yeah, actual shows. I mean, everybody probably already knows it's the X-Files for me.
Oh
So-
yeah.
Mhm.
I can't believe this question. Really? Mention an actor everyone loves but you can't stand.
See,
I
did
got
guess, I did guess his.
Who, me?
Tom
Or-
Cruise.
No,
Oh,
we'll never
okay.
guess. We'll never guess Mark's. You already know mine. That's easy.
Yeah, Tom Cruise. Yeah. For me, Paul Dano.
Really?
Mm.
I don't.
Okay.
It's the same thing. He's a wimp. He cries like a fucking pussy every movie he's in. And people always talk
Jeez.
about There Will Be Blood. I'm like, that performance would have been so much better to me if it was Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Like seeing him in it, he's so over the top. And I think he might be crying in that big scene that everybody talks about. I mean, Little Miss Sunshine, like the list goes
Yeah.
on and on. I mean, The Girl Next Door, the rom-com, he's the only one crying. I know people like him a lot, but I'm good. I don't go out of my way to watch anything he's in. If he happens to be in it, I'm like, oh great. I'll watch the movie, but it's not for him.
I get that.
I'll go with Mark Wahlberg.
I can
You
definitely
like
get
a lot
that
You didn't
too.
like him in Max Payne?
It's
Yeah.
hard for me. It's actually hard for me to think of a Mark Wahlberg movie I do really fucking like.
Fear
there's-
always comes to mind for me. That's the
there's-
only one.
Well, here's the thing. There's been movies he's been in, like The
Mhm.
Departed, that I liked,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but not necessarily like he's starring in the fucking movie.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of really bad films that guy's starred in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Max Payne, The Happening. Yeah.
I'd say the probably Fear for me. Like, I think that's the only one where he's actually acting. And that was so early on in his career. And then maybe, I don't necessarily think he's good in it, but everybody else pretty much is. And that's Boogie Nights. Philip Seymour Hoffman, Thomas Jane, Don Cheadle. Like, I like everybody else in the movie more than him, and he's the lead. So
Yeah, that's the thing. There's quite a few films that he's in that I don't mind. I liked The Italian Job, but that's for like
yeah.
Edward Norton and
Mhm.
Jason Statham, and I liked The Big Hit, which was an action film. But you got Lou Diamond Phillips as the bad guy. The whole ending takes place at a video store.
Mhm.
I like those movies. It's not because of Marky Mark and his Funky Bunch. I wish it was a different actor. That's what I keep thinking of. So.
Oh, well, that's an interesting question. What do y'all think about Millie Bobby Brown? These questions are killing.
I mean, she's fine in Stranger Things. I have yet to see her in anything else. I know she's got a couple new movies coming out this year.
I think it's wearing it's wearing
don't
thin, bulls. I'm gonna be honest. Like it's wearing thin with her at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Her 15 minutes is getting like real close.
Yeah, all the stuff I hear about her, like on sets having drama queen fits over chocolate milk or whatever the hell it is. I just like, yeah, I don't care for her. I'm not the biggest Stranger Things guy. I didn't mind the first season. I think that was more than enough for me. But I mean, it's not the worst show I've seen. I've seen other shows I like more, X-Files and other stuff. She was in those Godzilla movies and she sucked in them. Well, the movie sucked, but she sucked as well.
Yeah, I can't figure out what it is about her, but like she's not a appealing actress in the same way to me that like Emma Watson is not an appealing actress. Like they seem to be the same type of person and actress. Like they're just very plain and there and just kind of vanilla, whatever. And I don't know. Like she's got that one role that everybody knows her for, but that was when she was a kid. I mean, that was when she was best in that role, was when she was just a kid that happened to be a really good actress at that point. and it's kind of starting to get to where that's wearing out. So, to
Mhm.
me,
Oh, yeah, it's Macaulay Culkin,
yes,
Home Alone. But then when he got older, it's like,
Yeah,
whatever.
right. I know what you mean. Yeah. There's something about their appeal, like on screen when they have that youthful thing about them. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I get it.
do you have a favorite book that you've read? If you have a favorite book you read, just in general, like of all time or recently, or
Fiction or nonfiction? Like, I don't.
it's a
Uh,
broad question. Ah,
It's tough. Oh, I'll grab it over here, actually.
you gonna come back with 50 Shades of Grey?
that would be amazing. If he had like 50 Shades Darker or
What
whatever.
kind of fool you think I am? 50 Shades of Grey.
It'd be
I
the
don't know
biggest
about
swerve
favorite.
ever.
That'd be so killer.
I don't know about favorite, but one of my favorites is just the way it's done. Being a fan of this type of stuff, I'm a big fan of this stuff from back to the day,
Oh yeah.
and it's really because of the presentation. Because I think the way it's presented, it's every single game ever made for Nintendo and Super Nintendo, and just the way it's structured with screenshots, plot synopsis, reviews.
That looks
It's a
cool.
great table read book, all color coordinated. The backgrounds are colored. It's hardcover. There's one of these for Nintendo and Super Nintendo. It's just great coffee table type reading material. Even to flip through, the show. There you go.
Super Brawl Wrestling.
Super
Wow.
Brawl.
I remember
Got
playing that.
Sting.
Yep.
So I wouldn't say those are my favorite, but some of my favorites because I enjoy those type of big coffee table books. And then the other one I'll show, since it's right here, so I'm a fan of these, is The Ultimate Visual History. Just idea, it's a great coffee table book of from the bad.
Holy
Those will give you
shit.
nightmares.
That's terrifying.
Jesus. And even to the point where they have like, even within the book, they have like little trinkets. Like, I can find it. Bear with me, folks. They have like little, how do I put it? Throughout the book, they put like little trinkets. Like this is actually a piece of paper that was advertising. They'll like stick it on there. So throughout it, they'll have like little pieces of history throughout it.
Mhm.
Like here's like a piece of a script from one of the episodes. Like they add all these other extra stuff in there. I thought that kind of went above and beyond because you don't see a lot of people do that for these
Mhm.
kind of books, and also just really beautiful artwork and paintings throughout and stuff. So being a fan of it, that's definitely a cool piece of business for me, at least.
I'm going to say if it's a book like that, Matt, that I would go with Crystal Lake Memories. I mean, for a coffee table
course.
book like
I got
that.
that, yeah.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
a
for
great
me, that's probably like one of the best books of that
Great
kind.
choice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's
I
also
got any
another
other
one. There's another one too that I bought not too long ago that's like it's on set with John Carpenter, and it's just like the photographer that took all the pictures for like the first, I think 5 or so Carpenter movies, Kim Gottlieb, I
Okay.
think was who it was. Like she put out this book and it's just all of her pictures from those movies with like just a brief kind of summary of what they were about. Like that's an awesome book too.
Okay.
Now if we're talking about fiction books and nonfiction books and shit like that, I mean, I enjoyed it when I read it. I enjoyed Thinner. I like a lot of Stephen King books.
Mhm.
Fiction wise, Nonfiction, I've probably got a lot of, but nobody gives a shit. I mean, those those are books I read for like school, so that's not going to be exciting.
Hmm.
What you got, Mark?
If we're talking about fiction, probably Hellbound Heart is still always a top one for me. I like Scarlet Gospels, not as much as Hellbound Heart. And then if it's like one of those kind of books that you guys were just talking about, I have a bunch of the early Guinness books.
Oh fuck yeah!
Oh,
They were really huge and they had really cool covers. They
Yep.
actually, because they were hardback or hardcover, like they had the lenticular covers too.
Yep.
So yeah, I have quite a few of those. I think I have all the ones from like the late 90s and early 2000s. So yeah, those are always fun reads.
I used to have those too. I always
nice.
love those. Okay. Do you think Shia LaBeouf is an underrated actor? It's an interesting question.
I mean, at one point, he was very like hyped.
Yeah.
I think that was like around the Crystal Skull time, like leading up to that. Which I never got, like why everybody was so big on him around that time. Underrated. I don't think he's a bad actor. There's plenty worse out there. If anything, he might be justly rated. Like I think he's fine for what people think of him now. So
I never minded him. I liked Disturbia. I liked Eagle Eye. I never hated
Mhm.
Crystal Skull. Aside from the bad CG, I always actually liked that movie. So I never minded him. Transformer films sucked, but you could have put James Woods in them, and those films would still suck. No one could save those movies.
Mhm.
So, I mean, the strips. What was the one Bumblebee pissed on someone's face or something? Was it John Turturro?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like sadly, like John Turturro got leaped on by a Transformer. I mean, come on. So
Mhm.
I never minded him though. Like I said, I've seen a lot worse today.
Yeah. He's probably
Mhm.
pretty underrated now because nobody wants anything to do with him. But at one time, yeah, he was right there. Jack Frost wants to know, Matt, have you seen Teenage Mutant Hardcore Turtles on YouTube? It's those turtle concerts edited to look like the turtles are playing a hardcore band called Throwdown.
No,
The fuck?
never heard of it.
That's so good.
Okay, I have to check that out.
What are your thoughts on the movie Identity? I saw that movie in the theater. Speaking of the things we've seen in the theater, love that movie when it came out. Nobody ever mentions that movie anymore, but like I loved it when it was first out.
Same. Pleasant surprise. I didn't expect it to be that.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. I like it.
Matt's got that look. Matt's got that look. Nope.
I saw that when I went to the theater like every week. I think it's what every single time I went to the theater, they would show the damn trailer for that movie every single time. I saw it like literally like 40 times by the time it got to it.
What was your impression of it from all the trailers? Because I never saw any. Okay.
I was very curious, but then because I saw that trailer 40 times, I was able to guess the ending like in the first 30 minutes.
Okay.
Because, like, spoiler for those who haven't seen the movie, there's a bit in the trailer where John Cusack is in a certain room and he does a certain move like this, and then within 10 minutes there's another guy in the same room with the same clothes on. I'm like, okay, and then the title idea is one of those movies, and I'm like, I don't know. I've seen those type of movies before. It's like, it's on the guy's head. Good actors. I would have preferred that if it wasn't for the twist. I actually would have liked if it was like this Twilight Zone mystery in this motel with a
Mhm.
cast of characters. I think it's like the third act, and like, didn't he like one of his things was like a girl or something? There's some weird about the ending. I can't remember. He has like multiple. It's the guy with like the lazy eye.
Yes.
Forget
Yeah.
That
actor's
guy was
name.
in X-Files too. He was
He
in
was.
the episode where he's wearing
right.
he's the painter or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
So that
third
was-
act killed it for me. I think. Plus, the third act just killed it for me. But I
Mhm.
like the cast. I like some of the atmosphere, the direction. But yeah, I would have preferred it was more Twilight Zone and less. It's all in their head.
Yeah, you're making me hate it
Crazy.
now. Matt's making me turn on this movie as we speak.
Yep, I have hypnotic powers. I just I hate everything, so don't listen to me.
That's right. You got to quit doing that. Like
Yeah,
everybody's
me too.
like when people then they
Stop
troll
doing it.
you in there, Matt. They're like, "You fucking hate everything." That happens about once a week
hate
on Matt's
everything,
channel.
I hate them all.
All right. So I think we have reached the end
Mhm.
of questions, and
I know
yeah.
you want to show some stuff, right?
Oh yeah, real quick.
Mhm.
So they had a sale on Scream Factory, and I've been waiting for hell and ever to pick this up. And I was like, it's not going to get any cheaper than this. So I'm going to buy it. And I, looking at this thing, hate the cover of this fucking thing. But this was $65, which is still way too much. But the Halloween
Oh.
4K collection of 6 H2O and Resurrection. I just hate it's really hard to see how shitty it looks like until you see it in person. Like, but the cover art on it is really bad. The movies themselves look like, I just got it in today. They look like they're the hard box, just like the other ones. So that's good.
Mhm.
So they'll kind of fit in with the rest of the collection and everything.
Hmm.
I will never watch Resurrection, so you don't have to worry about that. But I will go back and watch 6 and H2O shortly. The bad thing about this set, other than the cover art, is the only new special features are on Resurrection. I'm like, why the hell would that be your choice where you're like, so it says on the back, new special features,
That'd be my choice.
interviews for like you get the special effects guy from Resurrection, the stunt double from Resurrection, and Sean Patrick Thomas and Gary Clayton. Get a new interview with them apparently.
Damn, I need to get that now.
Oh
I
shit.
Where's the Buster Rhymes interview?
Exactly. Where's that at?
They screwed up.
Aside from the first 20 minutes, I actually like Resurrection as this fun like slasher telecast movie. Just Buster Rhymes seals the deal for me, man. He's like, that's like one of those tears in Friday the 13th Part 5. Like he's like, he steals the show. Just those tears, like, motherfucker. It's just,
Yeah, he steals
or
it.
he's
All right.
wearing the Michael Myers mask. He's like, take your ass back there. I left the door open for you. Take your ass inside, but talk to you, Michael.
I'm gonna go grab it, Pred. I'll be right back. He just reminded me. I'll be back.
So
Busta.
let me ask you this though, Matt. Who do you prefer if of your rappers in Halloween slasher films? LL Cool J in H2O or Busta Rhymes in Resurrection?
And I go with the Busta. The Busta. It just, he's doing karate moves. He's doing Titty Michael Myers. He has the best line.
Yeah.
El Cool doesn't really do anything except he gets shot, but not really.
He's a very weird character in that movie. He has no purpose really in that movie. Yeah.
No. Busta Rhymes is just fantastic. You know? Fucking love it. Maybe in a so bad as good type of thing. Sure, but I get entertainment out of it, which is more I could say for some movies. So I love Busta. He's evil. What was it? He's like a shark coming to get you.
He does say that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Jackson Jack says H2O is a much better movie, and I actually like that movie a bit. LL Cool J is also a much better
Yeah.
actor, technically speaking. I mean, I guess.
I do like H2O. I do, of those three you mentioned, sincerely, I do like H2O. It has some little hiccups here and there, the different masks and stuff. Which you would think, I mean, I know alteration is not the best way, but with technology today, you know how they do like these deep fakes? I'm
Yeah.
surprised someone hasn't done like a deep fake of a mask, like pick one mask and just each one like fits the mask up. With the way of deepfake technology, because there's no, it's just a light mask, they might be able to fix it, but I understand not wanting to alter it. But like, I think if you had a good budget on it, you could do that. But I know it's Helen H. They're not going to do that for it.
I mean, H2O is one of those movies where that movie came out when I was 18, I think, and it was like the perfect time. And I'm always kind of nostalgic about that movie. I don't think it's a great movie. It's like a Scream Halloween movie, like, you know, of that era of movies.
Oh yeah.
But like, I always enjoy watching it because it just takes me to that like time period. All right, let's see what he's got.
Yeah, what you got, Mark?
Oh, so it's like, I guess you'd call this like a metal pack. It's kind of like a steel book, but it's a lenticular steel book with like, you don't really see that too often
No.
for See No Evil. I mean, something like See No Evil, or really any steel books, honestly. I rarely see
I
this.
don't. Yeah.
The glare is kind of killing the lenticular cover effect. And then the back, it's nothing special. But the inside, it's not bad.
I don't know if I've ever seen a lenticular steel book.
I know, right? Like when I saw it, I was like, I'm gonna get that because I didn't have the movie. So I was like, if I'm gonna get it, that'd be the version to get. So yeah, that cover really grabbed me.
Your fucking Catherine Isabelle obsession.
It will never die.
All right. So there's been a shit ton of people in this whole thing, and I do appreciate that greatly.
Oh, there you go. I'm part of the Cold.
You called a cornet?
Birthday present.
That's awesome.
Yeah, someone said this to me with the autograph, so I am part of the cult. There you go.
I listen to that podcast. Still to this day, I listen to that show.
So do I.
No, Pred. It was actually made by NSM Records. They do a lot of releases.
How the shit do you know about all this stuff, Mark? You know about shit I've never even heard of.
I go hunting for stuff, honestly. Yeah, I just start looking around to see like what's the best edition.
So always remember that Mark is your hookup. Holla if you hear me.
Yeah. Did you you had something else to show, right?
No, that was it. That's all I got from Screen Factory. So,
yeah. I didn't get anything from Screen Factory, but I just got a few random ones. Actually, I'll show both.
I can show a couple as well because I got these recently because of the birthday.
Yeah,
cool. You want to go?
Sure. Okay. These were a gift from someone. There was a couple. Was actually 3. I haven't seen these yet, but something called Lieutenant Jane Rose was like, I guess, a parody. Part man, part cigarette, all Australian. I saw the trailer. It was really stupid. Really, it's supposed to be like one of those trying to be so bad as good movies. Like what was that one movie, Kung Fury, and some of those other movies.
Yes.
It looked pretty bad, to be honest. And then 2 from Severn, which I've never heard of these, but the covers are cool. Cop Game.
Okay.
Which I guess this is Bruno Mattei film.
Hell yeah.
Oh, you're in for a treat.
Yep. That's bound to be awesome.
Star a guy named Brent Huff and another Brent Huff joined. It looks like the Adventures of Bayou Billy, honestly. the other Bruno Bataille film, Born to
to
Fight.
Fight.
I saw the trailer for this. The trailer for this is actually pretty fun. Born to Fight. Grade A 80s Italian action, as it says here. Go back to Vietnam and shoot everything in sight, saga. Let's look at the review.
It's cute.
And then three other things. Synapse Films. This was a nice DF Creature from Black Lake. Pretty
Yeah.
good.
Oh, okay.
One of the few like good Bigfoot movies. And Synapse did a great job. Picture quality was fantastic. Because I remember when I first saw this, it was really dark and scummy. They cleaned it up very well. Synapse, like everyone would say, they do a wonderful job on their releases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
And then the other two, I saw this again. It was fun. Critical Condition with Richard Pryor.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it
Wow.
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got Randall Tetz Cobb. You got Bob Saget. You got Ruben Blades, Rachel Ticotin from Total Recall, Joel Mantegna, which I watched. I forgot there was a line he says that was laughed my ass off because all these hijinks in this hospital happens, and he gets out. He's getting mad. It's like, and there's a helicopter in my fucking lobby. Just the way he says it did a lot better than I could. And I showed this the other stream. But I watched this again with the documentary, and funny enough, I didn't even know the documentary. I'm in it, and I didn't even know it.
I saw
they
that,
showed-
and
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
saw your post on
yeah.
that. That is awesome.
And I'm like, okay, that was a nice surprise. Why is
What-
it
what
these
were you
people keep,
thinking
like,
when
putting
you-
me in this stuff?
What do you
The
think
Uwe
when you're
Boll
just sitting there
documentary-
watching that, and you're like, you're in it, like all of a sudden, like, what were your thoughts?
Why did someone tell me sooner? Like the Uwe Boll documentary, and then this one, and then that stupid Will Wheaton thing, where Kevin Smith hosted. This, of course, Kevin Smith hosted the one I was in, the Will Wheaton project on Sci-Fi Channel. No one like tells me any of this. It's like my friend Mike. There's a long lost German Blu-ray of Tourist Trap, and they stole one of his reviews and put it on there. His review of
Yeah.
Tourist Trap is on this like German Blu-ray that no one can find now. But yeah, that was fun. It was a nice surprise. But it's like, I'm not going to sue or anything. It's like, just let me know so I could watch it. If I never
Mhm.
got this, I never would have known. Just let me know. But it was pretty cool. So that's all I got. Oh, and I did rewatch this. I know Mark has seen this, but I know you haven't seen it. I just said because I rewatched it for my birthday. Deep Rising,
Oh,
very
yeah.
fun movie.
Mhm. Very fun.
I think you would like it. I mean, and it's 90s late creature feature, but did you like The Mummy from 99?
Me?
The Brendan Fraser? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, everybody liked the Mummy from '99 back at that time. Yeah.
It has the same vibe as R-rated. It's a fun popcorn movie.
Who's
I
in
think
that?
you would like this one. Treat Williams is the lead. Treat
Mhm.
Williams. I don't know what else
Famke
he's
Janssen.
been in.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
I know I
Famke
like it.
Janssen.
Yeah, I know I like it now.
Jason Fleming, I think, is in there too.
Wes Studi from Street Fighter. Rob Bottin did the creature design. And yeah, pretty good cast. And also the guy in Sounds of Lambs who was like Anthony Heald, he was the guy Anthony Hopkins goes after at the very end, Sounds of Lambs.
Oh
Go
yeah.
have someone for dinner.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
He's like the human bad guy, and there's the Weasel. Was a lot of these
Mhm.
movies have the Weasel.
He
type
played
of
that role a
character.
lot, I feel like.
So, but that's all I got.
That's awesome.
Cool. I just got a few more. I like my slasher movies, obviously. So these are two Christmas slashers, and one of them's a 4K. So I'll go with the 4K first. I'm not sure how you guys feel about this one. Christmas, Bloody Christmas. Did you guys see this one on
I
Shudder?
haven't
I
seen
don't
it.
think I've seen it. No.
Okay. I had fun with it. I mean, the Santa Claus is like a cyborg or some shit like that.
That's a new twist. I guess.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. There's a lot of F bombs in here. So for a minute, I'm
Hmm.
like, did Rob Zombie write this? So it kind of gave off that vibe a bit. And then they switched it up a bit, like towards the second act. And you have a lot of really cool like stuff going on. It's a fun movie. Like it's nothing special, but really fun, especially if you like Christmas slashers. So another Christmas
And real
slasher.
quick, like,
Yeah.
I saw another movie that did that too, the Rob Zombie type of dialogue. There was a film called Kids versus Aliens. It came out recently.
Mm-hmm.
And like
I've
all
seen
the
it.
kids talk just like Rob Zombie dialogue, and it got annoying real quick. It's like they're trying to
did
do like a
kinda
live
notice
action
that,
South
yeah.
Park.
Bitch, I'm all
It's so
busted up over
innocent.
here.
Because it's Jason Eisner who did Hobo with a Shotgun, so I
Mhm.
actually don't mind that film. But
That
Kids versus
movie,
Aliens,
A Hole with the Shotgun's one of my favorite movies. It's like underrated too. Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah. And then Kids versus Aliens, not so much.
No.
That's the second film. That's pretty bad at this point. Sorry, go ahead, Mark.
No, you're fine.
Shit.
I don't think this one's on Blu-ray in the US. It's To All a Good Night. The David Hess.
Yes,
Oh.
I've seen that one
Yeah.
not too long ago too. It's
It's
not
got-
bad.
Yeah, no, and the ending I didn't see coming. Like
Yeah.
at least back when I first saw it. And I won't spoil it for anybody, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Like and this is a solid Blu-ray. And yes, the cardboard enthusiast, this is a slipcover, just in case you guys were wondering.
That's right.
And then I showed this to Matt the other day. I didn't get the 4K of this movie when it came out. I hesitated, should have bought it. It sold out, and I know it goes for pretty high prices. It's Zombie. Well, not Zombie, but Dawn of the Dead 4K. So this is the VHS, you know,
Yeah.
one of those. So
Mm.
it's got like a little poster inside the so-called VHS tape. I'm gonna fold this thing out real quick.
So it
I,
only has that version of Dawn of the Dead, the zombie version. Like it only has that version, the Dario Argento one, or
No,
does it have like all the?
it's got all of them. And
Oh,
then,
okay.
You know, your poster. My green screen's fucking it up a little bit, but yeah. So it's solid release, and it was a lot cheaper than paying for that 4K that came out from. I think it was Second Sight, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Second
Yeah.
Sight.
That was what put them on the map for me. I didn't even know who they were or anything prior to that.
So there you go. And
If you
then-
want me to autograph that for you though, Mark, you can send it down here and I'll autograph and send it back to you right away.
I bet. So it's your discs are there, and then it's like more behind there. So it's all your stuff in there. So yeah, pretty awesome. And the 4K I did watch looks good. In comparison to the Second Sight, I don't know. Do either of you have that one? The Second Sight 4K of Dawn of the Dead?
Yeah, I've got it in there.
Okay, and I'm pretty sure that was pretty damn good too.
Yes, it's amazing. And
That's good.
honestly, like that's one of those films. It looks too good because you can see like a lot of the imperfections in the makeup, especially like
Yeah, that's
Like,
what I
it's-
noticed watching it. I was like,
Yeah.
wait a minute. Like I didn't see that before.
yeah.
So. But yeah, the color grading and all that stuff's good. It all pops. I don't know if I could show this one.
Does it have nudity?
Kind of. I mean, we're at the end of the stream.
That's true.
It's not
What-
hardcore.
What's going
It's
to
laid
happen?
to rest.
Oh yeah.
This is the double feature. So it's got both movies in there on Blu-ray, and I don't think the first one was ever released on Blu-ray here. So when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, I got to get that." So it's
Those are movies that also never ever get mentioned anymore, but
Mhm.
they're really good movies.
Yeah. So I mean,
I mean,
the
for the
whole thing
gore.
is. Oh yeah, for the gore. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. It's a really cool like media book. It's got so many amazing images from all the movies. I mean, it makes you want to watch if you haven't seen it. It's just a lot of cool images on the inside. And actually, this might be a good idea for a show for you guys. Like, makeup effects artist turn director. There's
Huh.
quite a few. Like,
Yeah.
was it Robert Kurtzman for Wishmaster?
Yeah.
You got Rob Hall for this.
Yep.
I guess one
Tom
of the more.
Savini.
Yeah, there you go. Tom
Savini.
Savini.
Yep.
Fucking the Terrifier 2 guy.
And Winston, he did fucking Pumpkinhead.
Yeah, him too. So that might be an interesting topic for a show if you guys want to do that. That'd be cool.
Real quick, was there nudity in Laid to Rest? I don't even remember nudity in the film. I just remember.
I'm sure there was,
violence.
but I don't remember it either. Yeah.
In the first,
It felt like there's more nudity on the cover than the movie I remember.
I'm trying to think. I remember she's like an escort.
Oh,
I haven't watched the Blu-ray for the first one yet. I can't remember. There might be, but if it is, it's probably really brief. But either way, how can you not love that cover?
I know.
I think that's it pretty much. I don't know if I showed this. This was from Vinegar Syndrome. One of the last few streams. I said I was going to get this.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you did get that because that's a super cool cover for that.
Yeah. Oh, it's upside down. Yeah. So, yeah, I ended up getting that. So, can't wait to check that out. That should be really good.
Oh.
Okay, Mark, I'm going to serve you since you want to show all these movies.
Okay.
I'm going to show like old ass stuff just to counter your shenanigans. We got old ass Mill Creek Entertainment of Pulse. Garrett, there you go. You ever see this? You have the Lawrence of Joey in this, man. I actually like that movie.
I mean, he's the best.
And
Lawrence
then,
Boy.
speaking of effects guys making movies, got you Mosquito, another Synapse release. There you go.
I don't have that, and I've always wanted to get that. That's one that I've always put off getting.
I haven't thought about that in forever. Wow.
It doesn't have Gunnar Hansen in it. Like it's one of the only non-Texas Chainsaw movies I can think of him being in.
Yep. I know you can't see it, but there he is with the chainsaw with all the glare.
Nice.
But you got some pretty fun effects in there. For a movie about killer mosquitoes, it's actually a lot of fun. Bad acting, but they put their money where it's worth. And there's a lot to be said with Sci-Fi Channel stuff. Like, if Sci-Fi Channel films were like this, you'd be watching a lot more sci-fi. But this is actually a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that has nudity and gore and all that stuff. So, you mentioned effects directors.
Mm-hmm.
This was Gary Jones, effects guy, directed that.
Mm-hmm.
So, Pulse, Mark.
Pulse.
Laid to Rest.
All right, guys. So we have come to the end of this stream. Thanks to everybody for checking out 2.5+ hours. And thanks to Matt for turning 40. And also thanks to Mark for coming on and showing everybody up and fucking talking about his shit.
$3,000. $2,000.
Motherfucker
It's
over
so
here.
funny because I just the stuff I get, like I swear I'm not trying to. My eye is just like I don't get the normal.
We know what you're trying to do, Mark. Come on
swear.
here and fucking show everybody up. So just as a heads up for everybody though, while we still got like quite a few people in here.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking at this and it looks like for our show on YouTube, we have the prom night fan commentary with Dana, aka Evil Dead Chick, coming up on the 28th at 10 p.m. And then the big show after that, of course, is the worst zombie film show, which is like, I guess, the end of May of the Dead. And that's a sad kind of thing, but that's the big show for us coming up on the 31st at 10 with Garrett. So make sure to check out both those shows. And then I'll just leave it up to you guys to talk about anything else that you guys got coming up.
For me, just a couple more paid requests, and then usually start anew in the beginning of the next month. But some commentaries that I requested, Black Mass that I've not seen, so it'll be a first time viewing with Johnny Depp. Looks like a pretty good movie. Scarface, Office Space. I got requested commentaries for those. A few other films, Demons 2. I got requested to watch and review. It's been a while since I watched it, so that'll be interesting. I'm sure it still will be better than Evil Dead Rise. And
Yep.
And yeah, just more of that stuff. So how about you, Mark?
Just more of me taking forever to upload anything on everything in my
Yeah,
collection.
what the fuck is going on, Mark?
I'm a busy man. I don't know what to say.
You're a busy man. God damn it. I
I'll-
watched the Crow one. That was the last one you did, right? Like the Crow.
That was the last one, yeah.
I'm like, where's the rest of the shit?
You know, when you have so much shit, like
That's what I'm thinking. You've got so much shit, so you've got a million different ideas for videos you could do now. Let's go.
I do.
Start,
I do.
Start cranking them motherfuckers out. Come on.
I'm trying. I really am trying. No, one thing we all have coming up. I'm just gonna put this out there again because I do this every show. It seems like every show.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
The
it's
commentary for X-Files, I want to believe.
He's never gonna let it die. It has
We
to
gotta.
happen.
It has to. We gotta close the file cabinet on the X-Files.
Oh God, I know he's right. Okay, so let's just
Well-
set a date because if you don't,
Wait,
then I'm
you're-
never ever gonna do it.
Mhm.
You're safe until June 6th because after this, I'm going to have like 1 gigabyte of phone for the next 10 days.
Okay.
So
That's
Fair
all I
enough.
would do is
Yeah.
June 6th. So it has to be after June 6th. So at
pick
least
a
you're
date
safe for.
after that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We'll see how our schedules line up.
So real quick, too, I wanted to bring this up for anybody else listening too. I've got a new idea for a series of shows that I'm going to do, and I need like volunteers for co-hosts too. But this is a very particular type of like show, so I don't know how many people will be into it or not. I'm gonna I'm gonna do a show. It's called Uncle Bill's Tour of Italy, and it's going to be showcasing a different like Italian director that's not Argento or Fulci. So, for example, the first show is going to be Bruno Mattei. So, if anybody out there listening to this wants to do like co-host a show that's going to highlight Bruno Mattei's career, yeah, exactly. Then let me know and we will work something out. And then after that, I'm going to move on to somebody else. And each show will be like a different Italian director that's not Fulci or Argento. So, yeah, that's going to be my next series of shows. So if anybody wants to co-host those, just you can find it's Ron Dead Pitt at YouTube, Instagram, Patreon. We've actually got like a huge following, or at least a bigger following now on TikTok, because CK's been putting up a bunch of shit. Like he finally like cracked the TikTok code somehow or another. So
Nice.
yeah, find us on there as well. And yeah, am I going to do one on Armand Mastriani? Armand Mastriani. Maybe.
That show will never end. There are so many Italian horror directors.
Yep.
So that's a great idea, though.
That's what's going to be happening.
I will definitely do one of those with you. I'm not sure which one, but
we'll have plenty of options. There'll be plenty of direct. I'm going to do Sergio Martino at some point for those people that are inclined to like his films. There'll be a bunch of different ones. Of course, you got to do Bava, Lamberto Bava.
Yeah.
And then at some point, oh God, the dude that did Cemetery Man, his name's escaping me, but
Michele Soave.
yes, very good. Gonna do him as well. So yeah, just hang in there for that. So, gentlemen, it's been another wonderful time. The questions were like insane. Like there was a ton of them. We appreciate that as always. Appreciate you all coming over. Check us out. All of our different shows. Like you can find us all on YouTube in one form or another. I am Uncle Bill, and for Stuntman Mark, and for Rambo Raff. We are out of
Real
here.
quick, like,
Oh yeah.
you gotta do Dead Pit Facebook. We'll be measuring our purple people eaters on 4Ks. Starting with Stuntman Mark.
Jesus
With all-
Christ.
Oh god.
Is
You and
it-
I are
is it-
bigger than that.
Well, we gotta measure to be bigger than that. We gotta see. You know, we gotta be VHS. Yeah, we
Where
gotta
do where do you
VHS
start
there.
the measurement? Like from the base or
That's the eternal question, Mark. That is always the eternal question.
That'll be left up to the chat. The final thinking of the chat. Where does it start?
All right. So until that mystery gets resolved, I'll catch y'all later. See ya.
later?
Give us a
Bye-bye.
thumbs up,
Up your butts.
like, subscribe. And if you subscribe, here's something else you can do. Once you subscribe, you can click the bell notification, right? And it'll notify you anytime that Dead Pit puts up new shit.
Or don't. I really don't give a if you do or
I
not.
want you to. I want you to.
I don't care.
Let's keep our community growing here on
No,
YouTube.
I don't like it. I don't want you to do nothing.
Listen, they need to do that, pal.
No, don't you
Yeah.
dare touch it.
Thumbs up, subscribe, and click that bell.
Hey folks, it's Oak Early Jaws. I might be banned off of YouTube, but that doesn't mean I can get you some great shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. First, we got Steve Bedingfield post goes against our community standards in nudity or sexual activity. We got the deadpit.com shirt. We got Cardboard. We got L Lord. We got Tales from the Dark Side. We got Dead Pit. And we got a Princess Puffin shirt, boss. It doesn't get any fucking better. Brandon, add the accident. Oh, but these shirts just get better and better, boss. You gotta go over to shop.deadpit.com and pick you up some shirts right fucking now. What are you fucking waiting for? Do it. Do it now, because old Curly Jaw said so.
Thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon. Dead Pit on Patreon.com is the only place to check out a complete archive of the old Dead Pit radio shows all the way back from 2005 on, in addition to the midweek shows and fan commentaries, exclusive podcasts, and much more. Dead Pit on Patreon.com if you're interested. Tiers start at only $1.